Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Neves brings it down on the volley. Oh, you must be kidding me! Ruben Neves has just struck a sensational goal. Oh, it's turned in! It's the underdog Doctor who arrives. Oh, the brilliant Belgian in the right place at the right time. Calls it all. That's unbelievable. Jean Martinho has whipped it into the far top corner. Can you believe this?
Welcome to tonight's home of football. Matchday Live Extra is at St James's Park in Newcastle, making the long trip to the northeast for Newcastle United against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and hopefully Wolves to continue our fine form. The gentleman that you can see on our Matchday graphic is the legendary Graham Hughes, who we sadly lost yesterday. We will talk much more about the life that he had at Molineux and the impact that he had on all of us, certainly that are involved in Matchday Live Extra, and many more as well. And the King, John Richards, will join us in a couple of minutes to help us do so. We're going to get right into it. Before we get to that, though, because the team news is that Wolves are unchanged again. So Rui Patricio continues in goal. Johnny is fit to continue on the left-hand side, and Adama Traore and Pedro Neto either side of Willian Jose. The question mark will be which side they will be. Will they continue in the inverted wingers, or will they revert back to Adama on the right and Pedro Neto on the left, which kind of feels like a good place to start, boys. A big welcome, by the way, to the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson, Chris Iwelumo, and of course the former Wolves and Nigeria goalkeeper, all-round tremendous fella, and a guy who probably needs to take a little bit of a break from social media, but we won't get into that for the time being. Carl Ikeme is here as well. Looms, I'll come to you first on this. Unchanged again. The benefits of a settled team at the moment.
Yeah, it is. And it's on performances and results. You know, I think we'll tick along nicely. Kept a clean sheet in the last game, getting a goal, you know. So again, it's always moving forward, small steps, progression. I think we're all in agreement that we're going through a transitional period. It's great to have Johnny back. He's getting stronger and stronger. Semedo's feeling he's getting his place. He's understanding the responsibilities that come with that. And then, like you said there, that dynamic of, again, is Adama going to be on a Traore going to be on the left and Neto on the right? But that's something that should change up maybe a couple of times through a match, depending on how things play out. I just feel there's a great balance at the minute, and that's to do with, I guess, experience, age, young players coming through, and that's vitally important. You know, I'm surprised, and probably like yourselves, the fact that Martinho and Neves are doing so well together. Now, I know they're both fantastic players, but it was Dendoncker that was the one that gave them that kind of freedom to either go deep, because he was so box to box. But together, they're sharing that responsibility fantastically well, and they're both bringing goals to the table as well, which, again, ticking all boxes. So you could go through every single individual there. Connor Cody, you know, the way that he organises, he's got two good experienced players beside him. You know, there's a fantastic balance, but it's a result business. The team's not changed. Doesn't surprise me, because how they performed in the last game and the second half and the game before that.
Carl Ikeme, one of the elements, of course, is this inverted wingers that Wolves are playing at the moment. And I wonder how much that actually plays into the fact that Nelson Semedo had one of his best games in a Wolves shirt against Leeds. I know you're a big fan of Johnny as well. Whether the idea of the two wingers going in is creating more opportunity for the wing backs.
Yeah, possibly. I think that might be another factor of changing Neto and Traore around. But I agree with what Loom said, that they should change throughout the match, depending on the climate of the match, how the match is going. If Traore is having joy on one side and Neto's not on the other, or vice versa. And to try and help combat people doubling up on Traore as well, because they have been doing that throughout the season, and he's found it difficult. But like I've said before, I've raved about Johnny coming back. I think his positioning's really good. I think his positioning helps create space for others in front of him as well. And I think with him coming back and the confidence and form in the side, I think Semedo's starting to pick up as well, and has done well, as you rightly said, in the last game, and started to grow in the games coming. So I think I think with picking the same team again, I think he would have wanted to do that throughout the season, but not been able to do for injuries and for form or whatever. But we've talked about continuity we've not been able to have, and I think results and injuries have not allowed this. But as the results are going our way and the performances has, Nuno's been able to do that tonight.
Keems, Tom, can I ask you then, you know how you said there about players doubling up on Traore? Do you think that's then taking Nuno as manager to say, you know what, if people are doubling up, we're going to switch you over, or go a little wander yourself? Don't you think that's down to the player to take responsibility to do that in the match, is it not? You know, I guess none of us were ever wonder players that we had the problem of players doubling up on us. But I'm just saying, if that was the case...
Hang on a minute, Tomo was a wonder player.
But Tom, do you understand what I mean there?
Yeah.
Traore, it's taken quite a while, and we've been quite critical of him because he's not been getting the goals. He's still been creating assists and things, but he's been in and out the team because teams have been doubling up, because that's a major threat of ours. So he should have taken it upon himself to just go a little wonder. Yeah. You know, I think I'm trying to think who it was before the last game that was the manager that we had on, and he said it. He said, just go float into a number 10 position, go to the other wing. You know, and all of a sudden we started doing it, and he's unplayable. And if he's got the freedom to do that, of course he's got a defensive responsibility to the team as well. But when we've got the ball in good possession, if he's floating all over the place, he's unmarkable, he's unplayable.
Yeah, it's about keeping the opposition guessing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it's about. It's making sure that they're wondering where he is. He's not just set out thinking, oh, okay, we'll move that player over there to keep an eye on him and mark him or double up. If you're moving around, you're going to keep the opposition thinking. And I think that's the reason, or that would be the instructions for me that he needs to be doing. Just go and have a wander, try and find yourself some space. When we get the ball, make yourself available, because that was one of the things as well, was making himself available. I thought that maybe 3-4 games ago, he wasn't doing that. He wasn't making himself available, but now he's starting to. And we're seeing all the things that he's creating in Sellock, and he is a threat. With the pace that he's got, if he can get on the ball, and again, he's got to start to have a think about where he needs to go, get them to think about where he is, and then also as well, he's creating space as the wing back, what we said. Yeah. So it's all about that.
We'll come back to this chat because we'll have more time to build up to the game a little bit later on. But we want to kind of change of pace, really, and as I say, pay tribute to a club legend, and we've got one joining us as well in the great John Richards. Welcome again to Matchday Live Extra to the King, because it is a sad time for everybody associated with Wolverhampton Wanderers at the tragic loss of Graham Hughes at the age of 87. To us, he was known as Fizzer. To some, he was known as Hughesy. To others, I think Carl Ikeme was Muffer or something else.
Yeah, Muff.
He was a guy, John, who had been around the football club for the best part of 4 decades and did a little bit of everything. And somebody asked me the other day, like, how do you define him? And it's almost undefinable what he did at the club. He was just a part of the furniture.
If he was a footballer, you'd call him a utility player. He could do anything.
Yeah.
And whatever he did it well. And good to see you all, lads. Can I first of all thank the club and the Wolves Former Players Association. The tributes on the websites are absolutely superb. Really, really get to the heart of the man who was Graham Hughes. A very sad loss, but what a man. Yeah. And what a life he had. You know, when you think, I honestly don't know anyone who had so many friends and who was loved by so many people. You know, as you said, from when he joined the Wolves, you know, working in the 80s, you know, the number of people who've come through that door, either on the playing side, on the admin side, and the accounts, whatever, coaching, he got on with everyone. He was actually living his dream.
Oh, yeah, he was.
He was a Wolves supporter in the 50s, at the Stand Colours, Billy Wright, Peter Broadbent was his favourite player. He loved the Wolves, collected all the memorabilia, which he then donated to the club. And so, when he came to join us, he was living the dream. And he got on with everyone. And he would do anything for anyone, for the club in particular. He loved Sir Jack. Thought Sir Jack, saved the club, his club. It was Graham's club. And to a lot of people, it was. I remember in the late 90s when I was working at Wolves, and Graham came in to see me. He said, John, he said, in a few months' time, I'm going to be 65, which I didn't realise, because to me, Graham always looked the same. He never aged. He says, it's the retiring age. I said, well, when do you want to retire? He said, never. And so never it was. And so that was how it ended. He was there virtually till his dying day. And I know he was with, Bully was with him, and Claire Peters from the club. Everybody loved him, from the playing staff to, as I said, all the members. He was very much a part of the Wolves family. And it'd be a sad loss, but at the same time, you've got to celebrate his life. And he just loved every minute of being at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Mr. Molyneux, I call him.
Because Tomo, when you arrived and when you were playing, he was helping out with the kit, right?
Yeah, he was helping out. As John was touching on there, he helped out with everything. So he'd never say no to anybody. If you asked him to do anything for you, he'd do it. And that was just the type of guy he was. So I've never seen him sad. He always had a smile on his face. As John was touching on there, he had his dream job. He was working at the Wolves, and that's what it was all for him. He spoke about coming to work on his bike. Didn't matter what the weather was. He pedalled in. He'd walk in if he had to. But that was just the way he was. He was Mr. Wolves. He absolutely loved the club. And it's a big loss, as John's just touching on there. So, when we first come, he was doing a bit of everything. He was making the tea with them big, massive teapots, what we had, the big silver ones. He made Bully's special one with special milk, we used to call it. Okay, so it was sterilised milk.
Sterilised milk.
Oh yeah, he was absolutely horrible. But that's how he was. So it was the little things like that where he used to do things. If you wanted something done and you mentioned it to Graham, he'd get it done for you. He'd do absolutely anything for you. So, and that's the kind of bloke he was. And again, so it'd be a big loss.
Yeah, and I think with him, Andy, was the fact he was so respectful.
Yeah.
And polite to everyone. He made everyone feel welcome. There's no doubt he had a great sense of humour, and he loved the banter with the players. There's no doubt about it. Steve Daly told me he was having and this is not so many years ago. And Steve, when he used to do his pre-match stuff at the ground, he was sitting in the reception, and Graham came out of the door where which leads to the players, to the dressing rooms, and Graham came out with his frame, walking on it, and Stevie said to him, "How are you doing, Graham?" He says, "Not so good." He said, "What's the matter?" He said, "I've just failed a fitness test."
Yeah.
Said, "So I'm in the stand today."
He used to always say, "Look, I've lost my pace."
Lost my place.
I've lost my pace. That's it. I've gone.
I put a story out on social media yesterday that if you were holding the door open for him, he would always go, "I've lost my pace, but I'll be fit for Saturday."
Yeah. Even at the end of the games, so he was always sitting in reception at the end of the games. And like I say, I always went over to speak to him and just see how he was and all that. And he always goes, "Oh, remember the old days with Bill Pilby and the old groundsman with his cripplers on. He used to do the crossbar challenge with his metal toe cap boots on." And he was always talking about different things on that. And he absolutely loved the place. He was always there. As I said, he always had a smile on his face. And he was great to see. Again, I know he struggled to get around a little bit, but he made sure that he did. So he was always here, there, and everywhere.
But you know what's fascinating? Like Carl will touch to this because he transcended generations. It's not just the players that were there, in Tomo's era and John's era a little bit before that, and the players he idolised before. For you guys, even in the last couple of years, Kings, he was a big figure.
Yeah, I was upset last night, and when obviously people pass away, and everyone at the club that you might have known but not, and you obviously you're sad for their family. But it touched me last night. It was a bit like a Foz moment, and you just sort of having the memories of him, sort of as we said in that little room making the teas. Every time I'd walk past, keepers, and he'd be like, bloody keepers. And you'd mention the album, we're like, don't say that swear word. He just swore. And he's just a legend. And I know that word gets used too easy at times, and it never gets, as I said on my Twitter post, it never gets used by anyone off the pitch, but he is a true Wolves legend, and it's a sad day yesterday, but then it's a celebration because, as everyone said, he lived his dream, and it wasn't like when he got to 80, he was tired of his job. He was still living his dream until his last day, and he was just. I remember at 16s, he was making at 17s, he was making the teas in the first team change room. If you like Tomo said, if you asked him to do anything, he'd do it. And a great sense of humour. I'd always see him when he's on it with his frame and tell him to slow down. And he's like, I lost my pace, like all the lads that were saying then. But he was loved by everyone. Always showing someone around the museum. Knew everything about the club. Everything. Talk about old goalkeepers to me. The cat. Everything. He'd always have a chat. Great sense of humour, and just a great guy, man. And we've lost a good one there, but it's not a day to be sad. It's a day to celebrate Hughesy because he was a top man.
Yeah. And the memory of him, Carl, will last. There's no doubt about it with the players, because the one thing about him, it was his family. Whoever was at Wolves, wherever they were working, which department on the pitch or wherever, he saw them as part of his family, and he was like the father figure. He was the fountain of knowledge, the person to go to. If you were feeling a bit down, he'd pick you up. He'd tell you stories about the good old days, about the Billy Wrights and the Burt Williams and people like that. Fantastic memory, and it just made you feel. Give you a lift, made you feel a bit special to be part of the Wolves family.
And do you know what as well? I'm not too sure about the arrangements of when you put him to rest, but if it wasn't in these times, you'd see how much that guy's loved. You'll see a lot of former players and a lot of former managers there. Yeah. And it's almost a shame that he won't possibly be able to get that, because it'd be a great day to celebrate him off.
Yeah.
And Looms, it's that element, isn't it, of, and Keane's mentioned like John Foz Henley, who was an incredibly loved colleague of ours in the media department, who they were an incredible double act, the two of them. I mean, they were quite different characters. Foz could be kind of quite grumpy at times because he'd always be tired and falling asleep in his office, and Fizzer would come in, and Fizzer was always eternally positive, and he knew how to kind of get on, push Fozzy's buttons at times. But it's those kind of people that even when you come in for a couple of years, it's like they are Wolves. They're the people that are telling you guys when you arrive exactly what it means to pull on that old gold. No, spot on. I think Hughesy, as I called him, he was, like you say, always very, very positive. Always laughing, always making jokes. Fantastic sense of humour. It was one of those things. It does, Foz. I had a fantastic relationship with Foz as well. He done so much for me, behind the scenes as well as did Graham. Like you say, anything that you asked, they would do without question. But I think what the gentlemen are saying here about how we should celebrate the life that he had, he experienced the experiences that he had. He done what he done. He had a job that he loved.
wouldn't even be a job to him. You know, it was one of those things. He loved every second of it. It's a massive loss, and you know what? I was devastated yesterday because, like you say, I just remember him how he was with my girls in there as well. Just a lovely, proper gentleman. You know, a proper bloke. You know, so it is a massive loss.
Be fitting, John, if they could get a result for Graham tonight.
They will. Don't worry about that. He will have sorted it. You know, it's and the other thing that we haven't mentioned is, you know, how Wolves have recognised Graham and always have done, and the naming of the stand was it just, you know, it was beyond his wildest dreams. It really was, and you know, the bloke's heart was bursting with pride and with love for the club. But tonight, yeah, I know what score you're going to go for anyway, Mikey. You're a bit predictable to say the least. I've got this feeling. That it's going to be a 3-1 to Wolves, and it's just the Graham Hughes factor. Be optimistic, go for it. The lads are starting to be a bit more positive in the way that they're playing. You know, from the second half at Southampton. It really, you know, lifted my sort of feeling about what they were going to do going forward. And I think, yeah, and the lad William is going to start coming good and scoring goals for us. 3-1, Mikey. You heard it here.
John, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I'm going to
thank you for giving me the time.
I'm going to use Graham's familiar sign off.
John.
As always,
See you, lads.
Yeah, John.
Thank you, John.
Okay. Take care.
Richards joining us here on Matchday Live Extra to help us pay just a little bit of a tribute, really, to an incredible character. And if you haven't read the piece by Paul Berry at wolves.co.uk, make sure you check that out for just some of the reasons why we all loved Graham Hughes. We're going to change pace again because we do have a game tonight, and up against us is Newcastle United, and their former goalkeeper Shaq Islop is ready and waiting to join us here on Matchday Live Extra. It's 25 years since the launching of Show Racism, the Red Card, Shaka, which I know is a key thing in your life and Chris Iwelumo's life as well. I know you've done an awful lot of work for it. So congratulations on that. Just give us a bit of background, really, of how it all started.
Well, as I say, Mikey, it started quite a while ago now. When I first joined Newcastle some 25 years ago, I'd received some racist abuse late one night outside St James's Park, filling up my car with petrol. I just happened to be there late one evening with my wife and filling up, and a group of youths start shouting racist abuse at me. As they got a little bit closer, one of them recognized who I was and they started chanting my name. And, you know, I thought that kind of spoke to the duality of who we are as Black footballers, particularly back then. From 50 yards away, you're worthy of only the most vile racist abuse. From 50 feet away, they want your autograph. And I got talking to Jed Greby, Show Racism Red Card's current CEO, who was doing some work with a group called Youth Against Racism in Europe, up in the Northeast, talking about that experience, how it made me feel, and what could be the response to it. And Jed was the one who came up with starting with Show Racism, the Red Card, where I usually have a teammate along with me. We'd give talks in schools around the Northeast, just around our own experiences around race and racism, our experiences, what we've come to learn over the years. And what started off as myself and teammates giving back to our community has turned into the largest anti-racism educational charity in the United Kingdom, some 25 years later. So I look back on that 25 years and on Show Racism the Red Card with a sense of paternal pride. Not thinking we'd ever be talking about this some 25 years later, but recognizing the work that's gone on, very proud of it.
I guess it's a weird mix, isn't it? The pride of what you've done so far, and yet I guess frustration that you're still having to do this work 25 years on.
Yeah, it's on the one hand, Mikey, to your point, it's taken us hundreds of years of racism to be at this point, to recognize the point that we are. And I think it will take us hundreds of years to redress that balance. But the more of us who buy into equality, who are prepared to give of our time in addressing the ills of racism and inequality, the shorter we make that period. So I was never under any illusions in being involved with show racism, the red card, as I have been over the years, that I would see the end of racism in my lifetime. I always hope that I would fashion a better world for my kids to inherit. I think we're getting there, but in particular over the last 12 months, we've also seen how much further we still have to go.
Xhaka, first off, I want to say it's an honour to have you on tonight because I'll tell you for reasons why. Is that as a goalkeeper growing up, you were the person I looked at in goal and you inspired me. And to have someone who looked like me in goal was a big confidence booster. Yourself and David James are goalkeepers that I would look to and be inspired to know that I can play and I can be a goalkeeper. And to follow on from that, Xhaka, how difficult was it for you then, because we talk about racism and we've talked about it to this day, to be one of the first black goalkeepers in the Premier League and to deal with the trust issues that I spoke about as a black goalkeeper and black defenders at times, and it's going on to black managers and directors. How difficult was it for you to deal with that as well?
I think it was a challenge. I had so just to put it in its fullest context, Carl, growing up in Trinidad and Tobago, I am part of an ethnic majority. Majority of the population in Trinidad and Tobago is black. So I identified with national goalkeepers in Trinidad and Tobago. So I always had that example available to me. In terms of professional football and English football, Alex Williams was the only one, formerly of Manchester City, who I could look to and recognize that being black, being a black goalkeeper and playing at the highest levels of the sport was possible. But grew up in Trinidad, not too many left the islands at the time to play professional football. I went to university in the US, and it was only then you started to see, well, Dwight York, who I grew up with, come to Aston Villa. And then I started to think and believe, and this was an option to me. And I took that chance, and things fell into place in a way that it did. But you're also right to point out that David James is also playing in the league at exactly the same time. And I think that changed the dynamic probably for both of us, that having somebody else, having another black goalkeeper involved in the league, afforded us some recognition or some camaraderie. But you're absolutely right. You know, I think there's a stereotype because you still don't see that many black goalkeepers in the game, and in particular when we both played, you don't see that many black goalkeepers in the game. And the stereotype is that black players simply don't make good goalkeepers. It was still, you know, you're strong and you're powerful and you couldn't play in the winters. Those are the stereotypes that we had to work through. But you also recognize that as much as, and I'm honored to have you say that I was an example to you, Carl, you're an example to so many following on from you as well. And I think with each step, with each goalkeeper, with each endured and broken stereotype, we paved the way for so many others.
Xhaka, on the back of that, I've had the honour of doing quite a lot of the educational workshops that you do, but footballers past and present, there's a large responsibility that lies with them to actually speak and be open and talk about these moments, because there is a massive factor when they are addressing if it's school children or anyone, like you said, from 50 metres away, it was racial abuse. From 50 yards away, it was asking for your autograph. There is a power that comes with that label as professional football, isn't there?
Absolutely, there is. And I think what you're seeing now is footballers using that platform, using that power to continue to drive social issues. Football is just a small reflection of our communities or our country, which is why, when we started this, it was a community focus. It was about Newcastle fans and going to schools in the Northeast. At the same time, as much as you recognize the moment that we're in today, you have to pay tribute to those who came before us and who were not afforded that platform, who did not have the option of speaking out if they did want to continue plying their trades and being examples. I mentioned Alex Williams. If Alex Williams had spoken out about any racial harassment that he would have received as a black goalkeeper back in the day, he would have been ostracized. He would have been dismissed from the game. And then players like me and Carl don't have that example to look to. You can see the same for John Barnes and Viv Anderson and Cyril Regis and so many others who did not have the power to speak out, but had the power to endure and pave the way for the next set of black footballers to come along. And what you're seeing now is the latest incarnation of that. How we are accepted into the sport, into our communities, and now players like Raheem Sterling, Marcus Rashford, using those platforms for the good, for the social good that they continue to do. We are taking this one step at a time and slowly but surely making our communities better by using the strength of our platform and our presence.
I know Nuno will be wearing a badge to recognise the achievements of the 25 years. Shaka, as regards the game tonight, your old team could do with a win, couldn't they?
Absolutely. Mikey, and if you asked me this a week ago, so for those of you who may not know, I work in sports media here in the US, and they asked me if I was concerned, this is a week, 10 days ago, they asked if I was concerned about Newcastle going down. And I was like, nah, Newcastle, what, 8-10 points clear of Fulham in the bottom three? And I was like, well, no, it's 3. And I'm like, when did that happen? So all of a sudden, Newcastle are plummeting in a way that's concerning to me. You had Steve Bruce come out a few weeks ago and be critical of the players, but then the team responded and played well, picked up some points, but now they've regressed again. And just looking at the team sheets, looking at the goalkeeper as I do, Darlow left out, Dubravka brought in. I often feel that that's a little bit of a show of desperation. In a team that's not playing well, you blame your goalkeeper, and he's the first name to be changed. That for me is not a good sign. Maybe I'm biased to our position, but that for me is not a good sign. We need to pick up wins and start picking them up quickly. Fulham play Crystal Palace tomorrow, so depending on what happens over the next 30 hours, let's call it, it could paint a very grim picture.
I was going to say, you played in a team what was quite attack-minded. Bruce has been criticised for the style of play. Do you think it's justified, or?
I think a lot of the criticism has been that has been Newcastle's approach largely under Steve Bruce to be pragmatic, for want of a stronger term, and hope to capitalise on an error. But I think you're starting to see a change in approach, and that's my hope. You look at the starting lineup today. It is top heavy. Almiron, Max Elman in the squad. You just feel that this is a team. It's probably as attack-minded as you could get from Steve Bruce. So while I'm concerned, I'm a little bit hopeful, if not for this game, for what's to come for the rest of the season, because they have a lot of teams in and around them down near the bottom of the table between now and the end of the season. So we have our own destiny in our own hands, which is all any football team or manager could ask for.
Just before I let you go, Shaka, prediction, what does your gut tell you tonight?
Well, it's not at all lost to me that I'm on Wolves TV here, Mikey.
Careful, be careful.
Ex-Newcastle player for prediction on Wolves TV as we play against Wolves. I'll settle for a 1-1. How about that? I'll sit on the fence. Maybe that way you'll have me back again.
You'd be welcome anytime. Shaka, thank you so much, and congratulations again for all the work you're doing. And
Thank you very much.
We hope that you keep getting the support that you need to keep it going. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Shaka Hislop joining us on Matchday Live Extra. And you know, boys, a draw is probably a smart prediction, because of all the fixtures in the Premier League that have been played at least 10 times, this is the one, Newcastle against Wolves, that's had the most draws in Premier League history. The last 4 meetings between the two have all been 1-1. Not that I'm trying to push you towards a 1-1 prediction from any of you, but I mean, these two teams in general, Tomo, have been relatively well matched. Should we expect anything different tonight?
Well, let's say, look, you're looking at the two lineups. He's gone a little bit more attacking minded with his team, so you can see our front line, what we've been doing, and what games have happened in the last couple of weeks. So it is going to be close. Look, they equalised with that free kick at Molineux, which I still think was the best one to be taken. But I'm going to go for 2-1. I think that Wolves will just edge it. I think that Wolves have shown a little bit of better form, you could say, in the last few weeks. And I'm just going to go for 2-1 Wolves.
Loom's just going 2-0. You're that confident?
2-0. Clean sheet again. Job done. We'll go 1-0 up. Then they'll be throwing everything at us. Boom. On the break. 2-0.
Just simple as that, isn't it?
Simple as that, Carl. It's a simple game, mate. It's a simple game, mate.
That's how it's happening, and that's it.
That's it. Good.
I like Ikeme.
Do you know what? I'm going to go with John Richards. And I'm going to go 3-1. I'm going to go 3-1. I think there'll be goals. I think Newcastle here for the taking. I agree with Shaka. When you start changing your goalkeeper, it rings alarm bells of what's actually going on. And I do think there's goals in tonight, and I do fancy us tonight.
How important is it for Wolves, having got on this little run, Keames, just to keep the momentum going, even if they get away with a draw here tonight, just to keep things ticking over, really?
Yeah, I think obviously you never want to lose any game, but I think it's an important moment. The tide seems like it's turning a little bit, and I think with a win tonight, it gives you that boost of confidence going into the next few games that are going to be difficult. And we spoke about it earlier when we spoke. I spoke to you on the phone, wasn't it, on Thursday this week, and just said the tide could just turn and the result can just solidify that. And I do think it's an important game for us tonight. And if we do get that win, I do think it kind of might kickstart this second half of the season.
That consistency, I think, for me as well, where the interchanging the side, we spoke about it before. We've done pretty well when we've tried to keep near enough the same team, and I think that does help. I think it allows the team to have that understanding and that consistency, what we're after.
But the result helps as well. That confidence walking into a dressing room when you've got 3 points, there's no better feeling. Oh, well, wait a minute, when you score a goal, to be fair.
Here we go, selfish again.
It's up there. It's up there, Mikey, actually. I wasn't wondering about that one there, but it's up there.
Well, if we're losing, I still score. It's still the same, isn't it? Typical.
Boys, very quickly as well, by the way, if you think about how tough it is normally to come here, there is a very famous story, which we don't have quite enough time for, but it's Tomo and Bully once won here, and Bully scored 4 goals, and they were both still drunk from the night before.
No. We've heard it, Mikey, haven't we? We've heard it. What a result, eh?
They were the days, mate. They were the good old days.
They were.
I mean, obviously much more professional in Keames' time when you came here and won under Walter Zenga. There've been some good results over the last couple of years. Just to clarify, you weren't drunk when you won here, Keames?
No, completely, mate. You won't want to see me drunk in goal, mate. No chance. I can't even know my drink when I'm drunk, mate. Let alone try and hold the ball.
Much more professional than in Tomo's time. Thank you, boys. My prediction, by the way, as ever, is 1-0. But everybody
didn't bother
Didn't need to know
what it
that,
was
no.
anyway.
I mean, John Richards, the King, said that I was going to do it, so I had to do it in the end. More from Kyle Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo to come at half-time. More from Tomo in just a second. Don't go anywhere. Newcastle versus Wolves is live next here on Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar. Being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money-can't-buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/Wolves-Lottery.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear, and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Here it is! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
The volley over the goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Four games unbeaten. Wolves arrive at St James's Park in their best run of form since October to face a Newcastle side who've lost 12 of their last 16 matches in all competitions. Only West Brom have conceded more home goals than the Toon, who've lost more games in 2021 than any other side. The Old Gold are on a four-match unbeaten run here, but the last four meetings have all been one each. In fact, it's the most drawn fixture since the formation of the Premier League, and in 11 matches so far, not a single clean sheet for either side. Wolves are unchanged. Nuno selecting the same team for the third game running. Rui Patricio in goal. Leander Dendoncker continuing in the defensive unit in place of the injured Willy Bolly, Connor Cody and Romain Saiz, and then Johnny and Nelson Semedo, the wing-backs. Ruben Neves and João Moutinho in midfield. Pedro Neto and Adama Traore supporting Willian Jose, who will be hoping to score his first Wolves goal. Newcastle, as Shaka Hislop mentioned in our build-up, have gone with Martin Dubravka in goal. Emil Kraft, Jamal Lascelles, Kieran Clark and Jamal Lewis make up the back four. On loan Arsenal man Joe Willock is joined in midfield by Isaac Hayden and John Joe Shelby, Joe Linton, Alan San-Maximim and Miguel Almiron all up top. So Wolves have had a decent record here. Back in Tomo's time, we had an incredibly good record up here on the northeast as well. Hopefully, that record will be continuing today.
Yeah, you're just hoping so, isn't it? So, look, it's a good opportunity to push on So like we've had some good results lately. But now, so let's come up to here. Newcastle might get dragged into this if the result doesn't go well for them. So they'll know that they're going to be up for a battle, Wolves. So they've got to make sure they compete with them. Because Newcastle, I feel, are going to have to throw a lot at them, so especially with some of the results that could happen over this weekend.
Well, it's an element, isn't it, of what pressure can do to you in certain situations. And Wolves may well feel like the pressure is off them a little bit here. And hopefully then they can go and play with some real freedom.
Look, I don't care what you say. I've been there myself. And players can say, oh, no, you've got to stick together. But it just play in your mind, in the back of your mind. But again, it's how you handle it is the thing. So can you handle that pressure with that fight of what's going to be ahead for Newcastle?
Mike Dean is our referee, and he is just waiting for the go-ahead from the TV producers on the side of the field. Wolves will get us underway. Pedro Neto stood over the ball. Wolves in gold shirts with those black sleeves, black shorts and gold socks against Newcastle in their black and white stripes, black shorts and black socks. Wolves playing from left to right as we look at it first half, which means they are defending the Leeses stand, which is normally right up in the gods where the away supporters would be, attacking the famous Gallagate end away to our right. We're in the Milburn stand. Tomo is one row away from the dugouts in front of us. I'm on a row behind him. They're all socially distanced here in the press box as Mike Dean blows his whistle and everybody takes a knee. As we were talking about before the game, incredibly important to continue to send that message to all those watching that there is no room for racism, and to show racism the red card. There's a Adama Traore for Wolves. Fast start. Johnny couldn't quite get hold of it. There'll be work to John Joe Shelvey forwards, and Dendonka tried to win it, missed it, but Nelson Semedo able to play it all the way back to Rui Patricio. This long kick forwards. John Joe Shelvey winning it in the air. Almiron, that's a foot in by Neves, trying to find Neto. Intercepted by Lewis. And Alan Saint-Maximin on the left-hand side. On to Lewis, who'd made a run past him on the overlap. Back to Saint-Maximin, who tries to cut in field and was just caught a little bit late. And Newcastle getting their first free kick of the game 45 seconds in.
Yeah, so already, so you can see what Newcastle got that three in midfield, haven't they? Playing with that four at the back. You've got John Joe Shelvey, who's just that sitting midfielder. So just need to be careful with us just playing those two in there.
Well, Wolves have brought everybody back to defend. The line is just inside the penalty area. It's only a couple of yards in from the left-hand touchline, 40 yards from goal. Almiron playing it back infield to Shelvey, middle of the half, and he'll try and scoop it to the left-hand side of the penalty area, headed back in and then hooked away by Johnny, who scored in this fixture last season.
Yeah, in the goal that we're defending, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Popped up with an equaliser.
Yeah, good finish.
It's Johnny's challenge that's led to a Wolves throw that he takes quickly back to Romain Saiss, who's got luminous yellow boots on tonight.
But you've just seen the way that Newcastle are playing. They're trying to just put pressure. They're doing that press to try and stop Wolves from playing from that back.
Lovely touch by Willian Jose from Saiss's clearance. Traore being put under real pressure here by Willock, and he'll end up getting a free kick out on that left-hand touchline about 10 yards inside the Wolves half. So plenty of you are sending through your condolences to the friends and family of Graham Hughes, who, if you joined us late, and you can obviously see our holding screen because we're not allowed to have the cameras on during the game, you'll see the image of the legendary Graham Hughes, who sadly passed away yesterday at the age of 87. He was incredibly fondly thought of by all of us around the club. Long kick forwards that Dendonka is trying to deal with. And he's done fairly well against Isaac Hayden and ends up getting a goal kick.
Yeah, he is, because they ricocheted a couple of times off each of the players. But nobody did really well, just getting his body across there. Dendonka, just to ease a Hayden out. the plan just to letting it go for a goal kick. But they are the pressing pretty high up the pitch. Newcastle, again, they're going to make Tricio kick the ball long.
Yeah, Newcastle pushing right up, so Cody Size and Dendoncker will move forwards. Mentioning Graham Hughes, Nuno spoke about him pre-game. He said he always had something special to say. Fantastic sense of humour. I hope we honour him today. Connor Cody said he was a massive character and a huge loss to everyone at the club. Here come Wolves trying to burst forwards, but Johnny couldn't quite get onto the end of the pass. It's clear to the halfway line. Joe Linton to Almiron, who's allowed to turn and trying to feed it out to that right-hand side. Newcastle trying to buzz around and keep the tempo high in the opening couple of minutes here at St James's Park. Joe Linton on the right. Almiron. Now John Joe Shelvey, midway inside the Wolves half. Forwards to Almiron. He and Johnny in a chase to try and get towards the ball, and Almiron lost his footing and he won a free kick for it.
Yeah, that's something that you'll notice in Almiron. He'll just carry on running everything. He'll chase after everything. He's the one who gives them that energy up front. Just got to be careful of it. He's just in there, just
soft free kick.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
he just got his body in the way of Johnny, and then as soon as he felt contact, went over right in front of the assistant referee on that far side.
But I'm expecting to see quite a bit of that. I think that this evening, any opportunity they get to put that ball into the box.
The Wolves weren't great at defending set pieces against Leeds last time out, and they do better here. John Joe Shelvey waiting to whip it in, right-footed from the right-hand side. Everybody back defending it, goes short. Will be lifted into the danger zone and headed down and headed comfortably into the arms of the waiting Rui Patricio, but it goes down as a big opportunity for Newcastle.
Yeah, it was. It's Hayden, I think, wasn't it? Who got the free header. But you've seen it there on 2 free kicks that Newcastle have done. They've changed the angle of delivery by passing the ball before putting it in there. And they've done it out on this left-hand side, and they've just done it there on the right, just to change the angle, just to get a little bit of movement on there.
William Jose trying to hold up the ball, lost his footing. Newcastle working it back. Lewis on the left-hand side. Neto giving chase as he runs up towards halfway and now forced backwards, infield to Hayden. And now John Joe Shelvey, who trying to play an early one for Joe Linton, who I think had run offside, so he leaves it. Rui Patricio a long way out of his penalty area on the right-hand side, and not the angle for a left footer.
No, he's
out of play.
He's a bit reluctant to use his right foot, wasn't he? Which would have been the best one to use there. But again, you just saw Almiron just chasing a lost cause, just to put that pressure on him.
Shelvey trying to switch the play. Kraft will be able to bring it down, and under pressure from Traore goes back to Dubravka out of his penalty area, and it's a loose pass. Pounced on by Ruben Neves. Neves always trying to find Traore to his left, and Traore wasn't quite anticipating the pass. Newcastle trying to get it moving quickly with a high ball towards San Maximim. Semedo tracking him wide. Almiron in support. Infield, middle of the Wolves half to Shelvey. Shelvey closed down by Matinho. A little short 10-yard pass to Almiron to his left. Further wide to Lewis. First time cross beaten and headed away by Leander Dendoncker. And Neto trying to get away from Lewis, and he's driving here at Kieran Clark. He's run an awful long way. Clark got across and ends up winning a free kick as the two collide.
Yeah, he looks off balance there, Neto, when he's knocked it past Clark. So looking, he's ended up fouling him, but for whatever reason, he just looked a little bit off balance as he got past him. Yeah, not happy with the decision though. But it was a good opportunity for him there. He did really well down this right-hand side.
Again, it's relatively soft, isn't it, really?
Well,
in the grand scheme of things there.
No, so you know that we can't have no contact at all, basically. And he made the decision easier for Clark there by just going into him and just catching him slightly.
There's a bit of a bugbear of mine, as you know, the idea of buying free kicks. Saiz clears one forward. Shelvey nodding it to his right-hand side to Kraft. Looking out towards Willock. He's got Joe Linton down the line. Kraft going on the overlap. It goes infield to Joe Linton. He manages to work it to Kraft, who's
Offside.
offside right in front of the assistant referee. And Wolves will get a chance to try and clear their lines. Don't forget the chat function is up and running on the official Wolves YouTube channel, where you can listen to us or you join in the chat, or if you're on social media, on Twitter, use the hashtag Wolves Live to get in touch and have your say. So plenty of tributes coming into Graham Hughes, and I know the family will appreciate all of them. Patricio to launch the ball forwards. Shelvey's header went backwards and will come all the way through to Dubravka.
Well, you'd say that Newcastle have probably been the better of the two sides to start they've had, haven't they? So Wolves has just struggled to get anything in this top third to cause them Newcastle any problems.
Daniel Williamson wants to know what the odds are on Cody to score today. Pretty long, I would imagine.
I would think.
Continues to wait for a goal for Wolves. Of course, he had no problem scoring for England, but it's 132 appearances since he last scored for Wolves. 1,043 days. Here's John Joe Shelvey inside his own half. Allowed to turn and play the ball over halfway to the left-hand side to Almiron. Trying to feed it down the line for the run of Sam Maximin, who's trying to cut in field. Now waiting for the support to run on the outside of him. Willock. It's been closed down by Semedo. And forced all the way back. Managing to squeeze through a gap to get it in field and find Shelvey. Just evades Matinho. Yeah. Almiron again, out to the right side to Kraft.
Just got to try and put a little bit more pressure on them at the minute. They're just passing it by us at the minute.
Hayden's low cross, Joe Linton is forced a little bit wide again. Cross will now just be dug into the danger zone. It's Dendoncker who wins a very important header. Neves couldn't quite get it clear, and he felt like he was kicked as he tried to clear it. Sam Maximin driving up to the edge of the box. Good challenge by Nelson Semedo, who can carry the ball away. Infield to Matinho. Now Traore. Not really seen him or Neto involved in the game so far, and Traore's lost it again.
No, we're not offered anything going forward, have we, at the minute? We've been chasing the ball a little bit. Newcastle have basically just passed it round Wolves until that vital area. Wolves are doing well defending so far, but again, if you're just letting Newcastle have the freedom of the ball, you're going to cause you a problem.
It's Newcastle's tempo at the minute, isn't it? That's driving the game.
Well, the passing, everything's going through Shelvey in that midfield area. He's that link who's picking everybody out. He's got runners in front of him. Got to try and put a little bit more pressure on him, just stop him from playing. Yeah, there you go again.
Shelvey trying to get in behind. The flag has stayed down against Almiron. Right hand side of the penalty. Almiron to strike it, and it's wide.
He's hit the post.
And Wolves are protesting and still fuming that offside flag didn't go up in the end. I'll get a view on a replay on a little screen in front of us. I think he might have just been onside. Played on by Nelson Semedo. And he drove into the penalty area and tried to curl it and hit the far post and away for a Wolves throw.
Yeah, I haven't got that luxury. But yeah, so look, that's at Shelvey again, that first time ball for runners. They're just saying that they're picking people out. They've got to try and put a little bit more pressure on the ball for me. Because he's got that in his locker, Shelvey. He can pick a pass.
Right, it's a big opportunity, and that's the second that Newcastle have had in the opening 12 minutes here. Still 0-0 in the northeast. As Pedro Neto wins Wolves a free kick.
But did it come off the post?
Yeah,
yeah, it did.
Post.
Yeah.
Andrew reckons it'll be a Willian Jose brace with Adama Traore getting both the assists. Kazra thinks it'll be 2-0 Wolves. Willian Jose and Neto to score. There's Johnny. Back to Romain Saiz on the left-hand side. Fairly deep inside the Wolves half. Lifted to halfway to the feet of Traore with Kraft at his back. He played a neat ball infield to Johnny, who can carry it on here. He was trying to play it in towards Willian Jose, who I think was expecting one slid in behind the defence rather than to his feet. And Newcastle getting it clear.
No, he wasn't even looking at him, was he? So when he's passing the ball, William wasn't even looking at the ball.
There's a lovely little interplay though from Adama.
Yeah, it was
and Johnny.
great. Again, it's a good little play there, but we've got to take a little bit more care with that pass for me. We've had 2 or 3 where we give it away. Again, Johnny's on the ball out on that left-hand side.
There's Ruben Neves just short of the centre circle. Back to Cody, middle of the Wolves half, turning and trying to hit a diagonal ball that Nelson Semedo wasn't quite as advanced as he thought he was. And Newcastle tracking back to their corner flag to pick up on the ball. Be interesting actually when they swap over at half time and they play right in front of us, whether Johnny and Adama are speaking Spanish to each other.
I would think so. I would think so. They're going to take the easiest language between the two, aren't they?
I mean, there's quite a few players who are multilingual these days, but the idea, I guess, that Nelson Semedo and Pedro Neto, they're able to speak their fluent tongue to each other, and Adama and Johnny on the other side kind of makes sense.
Yeah, well, better understanding, isn't it? So that's the thing. So they've got a better understanding of what each of them are saying.
Here is Adama Traore, middle of the Newcastle half, switching it here to Semedo. Semedo carrying it forwards, now wide to Neto. Neto to try and lift across in towards the far post, headed away by Lascelles. Neves nodding it forwards. Clearance, finding some Maximum. So Maximum on, now to Almiron on the left-hand side. Almiron trying to hang his cross up high towards the far post. Patricio came, didn't quite claim it cleanly. The Wolves are able to scramble the ball clear. Semedo up to halfway to Neto. Backwards to Leander Dendoncker. Played just about a quarter of an hour at St James's Park tonight. Newcastle 0, Wolves 0. Newcastle with the best of the opening chances. Here's Adama Traore, though, trying to change that. Running at Kraft. We'll just about keep it in on the left-hand side and still driving deep into the Newcastle half and hangs a really good left-footed cross deep. Comes all the way through to Pedro Neto. Just over 10 yards from the corner flag. Into the penalty area drives Neto. Left-footed strike was deflected out of the penalty area. Almiron has lost it to Neto. Moutinho takes over. Little short pass to Semedo. Wide to Neto. Infield to Moutinho. Now to Ruben Neves. Attempted switch play. Didn't quite come off. And Neves with a half opportunity on the half volley. Couldn't keep it down. And it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, that's a little bit better, isn't it? So look again, saying again Traore on the ball. At least he's driving forward there, just pushing Newcastle back. He dug out a cross, he was overhit, but Neto did well just to recycle it. But again, that's what they've got to do. They've got to try and push Newcastle back, not allow them too much time on the ball. There you go, it's better.
Lewis with a clearance. Semedo picking up on the loose ball inside the Newcastle half to Moutinho. Back to Dendoncker. Switches it across to Romain Saiz. Just the left of centre midway inside the Wolves half, and he's going to try and ping a delightful pass out to Neto. Cushions a header infield to Semedo. Neves and Hayden will slide for it. Hayden just got there first. Cody beating Almiron to the clearance and playing it back to Patricio.
Yeah, but just putting that little bit more pressure on them, say all of a sudden you start winning the ball back.
And Newcastle have a man down. I think it might be Hayden.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So play will be stopped for the meantime. Robin Calgary says, enjoyed our tribute to Graham Hughes. Condolences to his family. Wolves forever. He's hoping for a 2-1 victory tribute to Fizzler with minimal input from Mike Dean. Andy Gullick says, would love a big win for Graham tonight. Wolves legend. Let's get it done tonight for him. He's gone for 3-0. The strength of the Wolf is in the pack. Sue from Willenhall hoping to keep the momentum going tonight. Want to see a lot of movement again. 2-1 Wolves. So you can keep your messages coming. And quite a few of you, of course, getting in contact using the live chat on the official Wolves YouTube channel as well. Daniel says Willian is the one that needs a goal. And John says he needs Neto to score so he gets an inform in FIFA because he needs him for his team.
Yeah, people knowing what they want.
Tomo knows all about FIFA, of course.
I don't, please. My son does. Someone loves it.
Hayden is okay. In the meantime, Tomo has been such a diva that he's making our producer Yanni give him his screen.
I know, he makes things up, I know, just to suit himself.
This is unbelievable.
Thank you very much, Yanni.
I can't believe you're making him move his screen down to your row.
He offered. He was very appreciative as well.
That doesn't sound like Yanni either, to be honest. Johnny sending his pass to Adama short, but Adama Traore winning it back on the halfway line. Looking to set off on a little bit of a dribble through the middle of the half and crudely brought down by Hayden, who's going to find himself into the referee's notebook.
Well, that's what I want to see. I want to see Traore doing that time and time again. Again, that's what he does to teams. He drives them back, forces them into that challenge. But that's what when we speak about him roaming and going, that's where he needs to be going. He can go have the freedom basically on that top line.
Let's give it an opportunity for Saiss and Dendoncker to come forwards from the back. Traore and Willian Jose there too. Neto and Matinho in discussion. It's a fair old distance out, this. Good, what, 35, 40 yards?
Yeah,
so
it's a long way, yeah. So it's going to... Well, Matinho's the one hovering over it, isn't he?
Yeah, middle of the half, really, just to the right of centre. Newcastle's defensive line on the edge of the penalty area. He's got Semedo to his left, a two-man wall in front, and options to the left of the penalty area to aim for. Couldn't find any of them as Dubravka came out and claimed it. He's tried to throw it out quickly to Joe Linton, but well done to Johnny for reading that danger superbly and intercepting.
Well played, well played. He read it really well, didn't he? So he was able just to get it there. Just a little bit overhit, wasn't it, Matinho's free kick? Good angle to put it in, just slightly overhit.
Willian Jose being penalised for his challenge on Jamal Lascelles, just inside the Newcastle half to the right of the centre circle as Newcastle look downfield. And Tomo finally has a screen.
Thank you very much, Yanni.
Big diva.
Thank you.
How's Yanni going to watch replays now, eh?
Come on, just look over your shoulder.
Long ball forwards. Saint-Maximin heading the ball in field. Almiron back wide to Alan Saint-Maximin. Down the line for Almiron, level with the edge of the Wolves penalty area. Couple yards in from the left-hand touchline. Saint-Maximin trying to switch the play for Kraft. And Kraft may fancy a dig from distance, and it was well saved by Rui Patricio. Had to watch it all the way into his waiting arms.
Yeah, he was well struck by Kraft, wasn't he? But again, he got well behind it. Good handling from him.
Oh, a little loose one by Lascelles, but Kraft just got there ahead of Johnny. Hayden backwards to Lewis. He will look to try and knock it in deep, and Saint-Maximin, Flagger stayed down. Dendoncker is with him, and Dendoncker trying to get a foot in, but Saint-Maximin still twisting and turning in the Wolves penalty area. And in the end, Jamal Lewis blasted it at Saint-Maximin.
Couldn't get out of the way of it, could it?
Shelby to Almiron. Joe Linton, left-footed effort. Oh, good save by Patricio. And Semedo will turn and just hook the ball away. I think he must have seen that late, Rui Patricio.
Well, yeah.
Seemed to catch him off guard a little bit.
I think it was instinctive, wasn't it, from him? Just watching it here.
Newcastle certainly the team who are pressing. And a little bit more adventurous at the moment.
Yeah, I just think he tried to gather it, and it was just a little bit too wide for him, I think. Got both hands onto it. Yeah, it was. I think it was just the angle of it that was just knocked him off a little bit. But again, he got there.
Wolves just need to get a little bit of a grip on the game here.
Yeah, as I said, they can't keep allowing teams just to have that much possession against them. And then what it is, because we're not putting pressure on them, so they're just able to pick that pass out, especially in our penalty area. That is where you need to get tight.
58-42 in terms of possession for the home side, as Joe Linton has the ball down the right-hand side and ends up smashing it all the way over the top and behind for a goal kick. Wolves have had two efforts technically in the game, one off target and one blocked. That Ruben Neves half volley being the one off target. I guess they're counting Pedro Neto's shot, which was blocked, and that was quite wide, so a little bit generous. Patricio's got Cody and Saiz both inside the 6-yard box, and he's just going to roll it to Cody. He looks to lift it out to Semedo, controls it on the chest, and up towards the halfway line. Other runs into Lewis, trying to hold him off, and falls backwards, and Mike Dean shakes his head and says no foul. Shelvey onto Hayden, infield to Sam Maximum. Sam Maximum trying to get away from Dendoncker into the penalty area, still wriggling his way through, and it's a big chance, and Sam Maximum's going to turn it home, but the offside flag is up, and the goal won't count. VAR will double check. Nuno is fuming with the officials down in front of us that Semedo didn't get the free kick in the build-up to that effort. Patricio actually makes a very good stop from point-blank range, but there's no doubt about it. Sam Maximum is offside and the goal won't count.
But he's going on about Semedo just in front of us here. He's saying that it was a foul to the assistant referee, and also the referee was standing close. But great save from Patricio.
Yeah, Willock's effort. Yeah. What, 10 yards out? No more than that.
It's a great save.
Newcastle should have scored.
Yeah, they should have. They should have. But again, that's what I'm saying. Can't keep allowing players to have that much space and time, because that's what's happening at the minute. Got to put more pressure on them.
Sam Maximum was the man causing problems. Saiz clears downfield. Will go comfortably through to Dubravka, though. And I guess the issue at the minute, Tomo, is Newcastle have working it where Almiron is kind of the central man, but obviously he doesn't play as a number 9.
No.
And he goes on the move, and then it's enabling them to effectively double up on the likes of Dendoncker and Semedo.
But what it is as well, so look, it's Shelvey's finding that space just in that little pocket, and he's picking that pass out. You've got the 3 lads up front who are willing runners, the Maximin, Joe Linton and Almiron. But like I say, that's the problem. They're running everywhere. So look, it's running behind them, running to the sides of them. But they've got to put pressure on the ball, the person with the ball, for me. Because he's the one who's just picking out the pass. Again, he's...
25 minutes played. Joe Linton switching it to the left-hand side for Newcastle for Lewis, who carries it over the halfway line, away from Neto. Closed down by Semedo. Lewis infield. Willock finding Sam Maximum. And Sam Maximum trying to drive up towards the edge of the penalty area and attempting a curling effort that's a long way wide of the left-hand post of Rui Patricio, but it is pretty much all one way at the moment.
Yeah, well, they've got to do something about it. So look again, so they're just running free at the minute. Maximum down this left-hand side, just cutting in onto his stronger right foot. But they've got to put pressure on the ball. And again, say Newcastle are stopping them from playing out the back, especially on the goal kicks. They've got to find a way that they can actually get at them. Need more from the front lads, but again, it's all about the service to them as well.
Lewis's header. Shelvey just got there ahead of Matinho, hooked it forwards. Dendoncker trying to head it away. Matinho overhitting his pass for Semedo. It's just a little bit sloppy at the moment.
It is. Everything's just breaking down for them. Just got to try and just get the foot on the ball. So to just find these front lads up there. So I think Williams hardly had a touch of the ball yet. Traore's had a couple of runs, but we just need more from Neto. Then this right-hand side as well.
It's getting colder here tonight as well. It's been a lovely day all over the country, but it's due to be about 5 degrees now. As Kraft runs it on the right-hand side, infield to Shelvey. Shelvey being held up by Neves, infield to Willock, Joe Linton, but Johnny nipping in and clearing up towards William Jose, who looked like he was caught, but Mike Dean decides that Newcastle got the ball. Here's Sam Maximum into the Wolves penalty area again on his right foot, trying to pull it back towards Almiron, who's closed down well by Cody. Sam Maximum first to the loose ball, left-hand corner of the box, twisting and turning still, and in the end overhit it, and Neto to Traore as Wolves will try and break clear. Traore looked like he was caught, and again Mike Dean saying that Newcastle got the ball. Well, how is that not a foul, Tomo?
I don't know. I thought that was a foul. But again, we talk about this consistency. There have been challenges that we've seen there just in front of us, where there's been nothing in it to Newcastle, and the referees give a foul, and we've seen a couple, Semedo and that one with Traore, where he's give nothing. So again, it's about consistency in these referees.
Yeah, when you consider the free kicks that Almiron and Kieran Clark got early in the game,
Yeah.
as Newcastle have Almiron down now inside the Wolves half. Nuno is fuming at Mike Dean here.
Yeah.
You can hear him. We are very close to the dugouts, and you can hear Nuno now remonstrating with the fourth official and being told to go back and sit down inside the dugout. You can understand why he's so angry.
Well, again, you can't be giving fouls to one team and not the other, and it's very similar, the challenges, and you just can't do it. And I think Conor Cody's saying that to him now, but again, I'll keep using it. Consistency from the officials, big problem for me.
Because he may well have got the ball on the Traore challenge, but the point is that he went through the back of Traore to get the ball.
Yeah.
And therefore, that is a free kick. It wasn't given. And you can hear Nuno very, very angry at that moment.
Yeah, he's not happy with the officials, is he?
We're going to have Mike Dean going over to get us restarted with a drop ball. We have played 29 and a half minutes. Almiron, I'm not sure he's going to come back on.
No, I think his hamstring or something was he holding.
He's come over and having a conversation with another of the medical staff. So Newcastle temporarily down to 10. Shelvey finds Lascelles. Now for Kieran Clark, to his left-hand side to Lewis. Back in field to Kieran Clark. Midway inside the Newcastle half. Jamal Lascelles with it. Trying to play a long one up towards Joe Linton, but over the top of him. And we'll go all the way through to Rui Patricio.
Yeah, just got to do better with the ball for me. Just got to do better. Now they've got 10 men on at the minute. And they've got to make a decision about him. It's a good opportunity now with that extra man.
Almiron is ready to come back on. There's Ruben Neves with it. That's the right-hand side to Semedo. Semedo being shown in field. Now to Ruben Neves. Wide to the right-hand side to Neto. Neto up towards the edge of the penalty area on his left foot, putting it back to Neves, who stands it towards the far post. Traore's headed down and just about scrambled behind for a corner.
Great ball in. And that's better. That's better play. Bit of quality there. But it's a great ball in. Neves, free header. Yeah, making the keepers have probably just squeezing in by that near post, would you say? Oh,
I think it hits the post and hits the keeper, doesn't it?
I'll tell you what, it wasn't very convincing goalkeeping, was it?
Not
Kind
all.
of flicked at it with his hand.
It's been 43 league games since Adama Traore was on the net, on the back of the net on the score sheet in the Premier League. To go back to that Manchester City turnaround at Molineux on the 27th of December 2019. His last Premier League goal. Neto's left-footed corner. Shelvey's header out of the penalty area. Semedo inside the half to his left to Johnny. Wide to Moutinho. A little 10-yard pass backwards to Johnny, who will try and switch the play. It's over the top of Saiss, who made sure it went all the way through. Neves couldn't quite keep it in on this near side touchline to us, which was unfortunate.
No, he was unlucky, wasn't it? So he just picked up passes, just hit the surface.
Had it been Neto, he probably would have reached it.
Yeah, possibly. Or Traore.
I also think Neves probably thought Saiss was going to win it in the air, so I hadn't quite.
Yeah, probably hung back a little bit, didn't he? Yeah.
Ball in field. Moutinho trying to flick it on. Wolves want a handball, nothing given. Dendoncker nodding it down to Cody. Infield to Saiss, couple of yards from the base of the centre circle, heading towards the Wolves' left. A little short pass to the feet of Johnny. Back to Saiss, midway inside the half, and infield to Cody.
Well, just what we've seen already in this first 32 minutes. The referee's made his mind up what he's going to give him or not give for Wolves at the minute.
Traore trying to run down the left. Interception, and it will be a Wolves throw, though. Johnny will be able to take. Going down the line to Traore. Kraft at his back. Finds Johnny. Infield to Neves. Into the centre circle for Matinho. A short pass towards Neto. He's trying to hold it up. He's done really well, Neto, just to keep hold.
Oh, great left.
Johnny. Neto carrying on. Wide out to the left-hand side to Traore. Just all right on the edge of the penalty area. Trying to pull it back. Matinho will take over. Neto has stayed over on the left-hand side. Here is Pedro Neto. Back infield to João Matinho. Now for Ruben Neves, who will look towards the Wolves' right. Not really an option, so goes to Dendoncker and back to Cody. Saiss with it. Good pass by Saiss to find Traore, who skipped away from Kraft on the left-hand side, driving into the penalty area. Adama Traore back to Neto, just wide of the near post. Big opportunity, and he knows it, Pedro Neto.
Well, there you go. So look, once we start to link a few passes, great ball from Saiss to Traore. Good skill down that line. And it's a good pick out from him, Traore, just pulling it back. Oh, yeah, it's well wide in the end, but he'll know that that's a good opportunity for him on his left side as well. You could see him just trying to guide this into that bottom corner. That was better. That was better from them.
5 goals in 29 appearances before tonight for Pedro Neto. And he wasn't far off from adding to that tally.
It just shows you when we do start to get our front lads into the game that we do cause a problem for them.
Yeah, a lot better for Wolves, isn't it, last couple of minutes. As Matinho can't keep it in on the far side, Newcastle throw. Still trailing heavily in terms of possession in this game, but looking far more threatening in the last couple of minutes. Willian Jose to give chase. Lascelles back to the keeper, Dubravka, and Willian Jose didn't give it up. It's played short to Lascelles. Back to Dubravka, and Willian Jose still putting pressure on. A short pass to Shelvey, and now Lascelles can launch it towards halfway, where João Matinho will bring it down and find Johnny. Johnny able to turn. Traore. And to go backwards to Saiss. Good pass by Saiss to Neto. Little 1-2 with Willian Jose. Neto, Hayden just got a foot in. Neto just lost his balance there.
I was going to say stumbled, didn't he? Just stumbled on that pass back to him. But it's loads better. So look again, so just putting that pressure on there. They're just got to be careful they don't get caught the other end.
Yeah, Hayden carrying it forwards, forced wide by Johnny. To Willock, infield to Almiron, across the centre circle for Shelvey. We'll switch it out to the left-hand side to Sam Maximum, who's got Semedo isolated. Lewis had already made the run past him. Lewis over-hitting his cross that goes all the way through. And will go out of play for a Wolves throw on the far side.
Yeah, again, so they've just got to be careful of runners, haven't they? But said Neto just discussing with William that it was just a fraction behind him. That's why he stumbled. Just needed to be hit into his path, but loads better, loads better. At least they're putting pressure on that Newcastle defence.
Johnny taking his time over this throw. He says Graham Hughes was a true legend and a true gentleman. Condolences to his family. Come on, lads, let's get 3 points for Graham. He is the image on our holding screen on the official Wolves YouTube channel. Wolves.co.uk, on the Wolves app, wherever you are listening to us, as Willian Jose wins a free kick midway inside the Newcastle half.
Well, there's a ball played up by Saiss, wasn't it? He had a lot of height on it. It was coming down. And Lascelles was struggling with it. Once it bounced there, though, Willian just got his body in there. Brought the foul. So it was good play from him. Well, the lad's coming up from the back now. So again, it's that delivery.
Yeah, plenty to aim for. Matinho and Neto stood over it. Two-man wall in front of Matinho and Neto. It's only midway inside the half, probably 10 in from the touchline. So a long way out. Neto to try and lift it high to the far post. Saiss and Neves with the men arriving.
Oh, I think it's somebody on the hand.
Well, nothing given. VAR will, of course, check as Semedo comes challenging with Kieran Clark. And we are going to get a pause here and a check.
Well, I thought that hit one of the hands.
It was Neves coming around the back.
Yeah.
It hits the arm of Clark, which is up in the air,
He's up
but
in the
Clark has his back to Ruben Neves.
Yeah.
And we are going to play on.
Yeah,
No penalty.
I was going to say, if that was the other end, I think that would be harsh, wouldn't it? And I can't be that cruel and say, oh, it's definitely a penalty. I'd like to, but that would be harsh.
Patricio clearing it forwards. Traore challenging with Willock. Johnny trying to get involved in it as well, and Wolves get a free kick this time.
Yeah, did well there. Again, just getting his body in between the player and the ball. Yeah. Willock just protesting with the referee that he's done nothing, but again, say, you know what he's did there, Johnny. Just did really well.
Mentioned Graham Hughes. Bully put a lovely tribute on Instagram saying he was lucky to be able to spend a few hours and say goodbye to his mate Graham. He was surrounded by some of his favourite Wolves treasurers that he collected over the years. He was one of a kind, was our Graham.
Yeah, can't.
He's got a lovely
disagree
picture
with
of he, Graham Turner and Tomo, all with Graham Hughes on Steve Bull's Instagram if you want to check that out. Steve Bull MBE. There's Jamal Lewis with a throw for Newcastle. Midway inside his own half. Pressure by Semedo on St Maximin. Almiron trying to hold off Dendoncker. Ball come through to Cody, who tries to lift it towards William Jose, who managed to bring it down ahead of Clark, but Shelvey was there.
Yeah, he
Tag
does,
team against him.
Yeah, he does that well, doesn't he, Shelvey? Just in front of that back line of Newcastle. As soon as that ball goes up, he's just getting that little bit of a foot in there.
Here's Almiron up to St Maximin, back to Almiron, just inside the Wolves half, in front of Nuno in his technical areas. Shelvey trying to switch the play out to Kraft on the right-hand side. Johnny trying to get close to him, and Johnny got his body in front of him. Gets it back from Saiz.
Yeah, he did well, didn't he? Again, defending.
Cody has calmly lifted a lovely pass to Semedo, who's trying to carry it forwards out to the right-hand side to Neto. Semedo has continued his run. Neto thought about going infield to Neves, backwards to Dendoncker instead. Here is Neves, back to Cody.
Yeah, they're coming to the game a little bit more now, haven't they, the Wolves? So they started pretty slow. Newcastle a lot of possession on the ball.
William Jose holding it up and finding Adama Traore on the Wolves' left. Traore going past Willock like he wasn't even there. And Traore trying to lift across to the far post. Neto's arriving. Oh, and he... For a moment, it looked like he might try and pull it back. And then I think the whites of the goalposts lit up in his eyes, and he decided to try and volley it right-footed on his weaker foot. And I think it rather maybe hits his knee and runs down his shin.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he knew what he was going to do with it, because it was coming at a nice height for him. Is he striking it? I don't know if he was. I think he was trying to pull it back, but he just got it all wrong on his right side. But again, better play from Traore down that left-hand side, causing big problems once he's getting on that ball. And I think that's been the thing for me. So once he's got into the game, and it took him a while, he has caused problems down the Newcastle right.
Andy John says, Neto, your mum's on the phone. She says, shoot. Neto's mum likes to tell him he needs to shoot more in games. He's had a couple of decent efforts. The best bit of play that Wolves produced was Traore pulling it back to Pedro Neto. Couldn't quite get it on target. Traore's header at the far post that hit the post and rebounded off the keeper. The best that Wolves have crafted so far. Newcastle had the better opportunities, but Wolves coming into it ever stronger. And Traore trying to set off at speed again. Oh, that's a poor challenge by Kieran Clark. Less than 10 yards outside the penalty area, and he's going to get a yellow card.
Yeah.
That's the second time in the game that a Newcastle player has just wiped Adama Traore out.
Yeah, I was going to say, once he's in full flight, it's difficult to mark or take the ball off. And again, I say he knew what he was doing, Clark, didn't he? But this is a better angle, a bit closer.
Yeah, what would you say? Just about 30?
Yeah.
Maybe slightly less?
Yeah, just about that.
Cody's having a conversation with Neto. Romain Saisi stood around this. He's going to walk away now. Ruben Neves is placing the ball with much more intent than anybody else. It's been a while since he's scored a free kick. He has scored 4 in his Wolves career. His last one was back in April of 2019 in the home win against Arsenal.
Well, I think it's for the distance what it is. It's going to have to be somebody with power, isn't it? I don't know if
Neto stood around like he's interested as well.
Yeah, well, it's central, so it could either side, couldn't it?
Newcastle wall has just crept a little bit further forwards. And Mike Dean trying to make sure they're further back. They're still not 10 yards away.
I was going to say that's never 10 yards.
And they're still creeping forwards. And we wait. And it's Ruben Neves who runs over it. João Moutinho flicks it to the side. Neto to curl it. Oh, and it must have been seen late by Dubravka. And thankfully, for Newcastle's point of view, it was straight at him. A little bit more to the side. And it might have caused the Newcastle keeper some problems.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just curled lovely into his hands, hasn't it? Yeah, so he just made it easier for the goalkeeper to collect.
It's a little bit of something from the training ground.
Yeah, so a couple of things that they've done.
I say it's been a while since someone scored a direct free kick for Wolves, so they may as well try and do something a little bit different.
Exactly.
Change the angle. Traore's going to win Wolves a free kick.
Well, I'll definitely
inside his own half.
I think he's quite. Yeah, I think he's looking to get that one. I think.
Rather fortunate.
Yes. Yeah, I think he's just shoulder to shoulder there by looking at the replay with Willock.
Last couple of seconds of the first 45. There'll be a little bit of time to be added on. Oh, Cody's just pinged a dreamy pass out to the right-hand side to Semedo. We were right behind that. 2 minutes is what's going to be added on. Cody again to lift it up towards halfway. Lascelles winning it in the air. William Jose left on the deck. Here comes Moutinho, though, over the halfway line. Switching the play infield to Adama Traore. Options either side for Traore. He'll go to the right to Pedro Neto. Neto up against Lewis onto his right foot in the penalty area. Lowered across the box. Ruben Neves was the man sliding in at the far post. He's got to his feet and got the pass from Johnny. And now trying to clip a cross in that's diving header away. Wolves and then João Moutinho fouling. Newcastle getting on with things quickly. We'll get Tomo's views in a second as Sam Maximin is driving forwards and Patricio right to the edge of his box to claim the loose ball.
Good goalkeeping. I don't think there was just Neves. I think there was a couple in there, which is great to see. People just trying to great ball in from Neto, though. Dangerous area. The keeper's stuck with what he could do with it.
It was just laid on a plate, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There you go. Somebody get on the end of that. Didn't quite work. Here's Neto, though. Infield to Traore. And Traore up towards the edge of the box and trying to let fly, but he drags the shot a long way wide. Neto is straight over to Traore to get him to get his head up. As I think Wolves know that even though they might be running out of time at the end of the first half, momentum is with them at the minute. Oh, and it came off a Newcastle player too, that low cross.
Yeah, I think that's what stuck it off Neves, isn't it? So you got William just going in there.
He just kind of didn't really stretch his leg, did he, Ruben Neves?
But I think that touch off the Newcastle player is probably just taking it away from him a little bit. So
that's the final action of the first 45 minutes. Newcastle with the best of the opportunities early on. Miguel Almiron hit the far post with a curling effort, and Rui Patricio made a very good save to deny Joe Willock, and then Alan Saint-Maximin was offside from the rebound. Wolves grew into it, though, as the half progressed and had some decent opportunities. Adama Traore's header hitting the far post and Pedro Neto putting one just wide. It's been an entertaining first 45 minutes, but it remains goalless. Newcastle 0, Wolves 0. Your thoughts, Tomo?
Yeah, so it has. So, I think that Wolves have grown into the half. I don't think they started pretty well in that first 20-25 minutes. Started to have a little bit more possession. They've had a couple of good chances. Neto talking about that one there. So look, you just saw that opportunity where Neto's put it across the box, and that's what we want to see. But I think it's because we've started to find our front lads. I think that Williams started to hold things up. I think Traore's had some good runs, and Neto down this right-hand side. But that's what we've got to try and do. We've got to try and limit the opportunities that Newcastle are on the ball, because that's what they was hurting us with in that first 25 minutes. But we started to get a little bit more confidence, a little bit more possession, and then we start to hurt Newcastle.
Well, hopefully Wolves can hurt Newcastle in the second half. It is goalless at the break. We will hear from Carl Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo in a couple of minutes here on Wolves TV Matchday Live Extra. Don't go anywhere.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
The Old Goal Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it. I've been back to Molyneux on a few occasions, and I never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in from League One, and even more so when, after having a tough first 4 or 5 months, that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Goal Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Half-time here at St James's Park, and it is Newcastle 0, Wolves 0. Some pretty decent opportunities for both teams in that first 45. Chris Iwelumo. Newcastle, I guess, started the stronger and Wolves came into it.
No, I think we kind of weathered the storm. They started very well. I think their attacking play through the middle third into the attacking third was excellent, and then just Newcastle's quality and that it broke down. We have grew into the match. Tom was spot on. It's just about getting our danger players on it. I want a little bit more from Johnny and a little bit more from Semedo, but I think because Newcastle have started so well, they're a little bit more on their back foot, but they have grew into the match. But Neto, Traore's been outstanding. He's floating, he's getting on the ball everywhere. When he's staying down the left side, he's unplayable when he's in this mood tonight, but he's finding himself in that central position, and his deliveries out to either channel's been excellent. I think he's trying to get a goal. You can see the frustration. You see the players getting around him as well. When he's looking to the skies, he's just thinking, when am I going to get this goal? We know what happened against Leeds. You can't take it away. It was just one of those kind of lucky things that kind of went in his favour. But he's been outstanding. There's bodies breaking their neck to get in the box as well. When Neto, it's just breaking down that final little bit, that quality that Neto's shown time and time again, where Traore's cut it back to him and he's coming and he's arriving at the right moment, just hit the target there. Even the free kick that's straight off the training ground, it's like just either side of the goalkeeper, because it's done its job. The little kind of back heel from Moutinho to Neto, the walls broke up. The keeper must be raging with that, Keems, because it's one of them. You want the wall to stay strong. And it's one of those, the wall jumped with the back heel. It worked very, very well. So can we just carry that on into the second half now? You know, probably the half-time whistle came at the wrong time for us there because we were looking the more threatening.
I like Ikeme.
Yeah, I thought we were quite poor for the first 30 minutes. We can talk about pressure at times. I thought our passing was poor, and you could really tell from the few moments that Traore and Neto did get on the ball, they were really in the mood tonight. And I do feel like we need to take that into the second half. That final ball's not quite been there. The pass from midfield to Traore and Neto hasn't been there at times, and it started to happen more within the last 15 minutes. So I really do think Newcastle are here for the taking tonight. There's a lot of space on that pitch. I agree with Looms, maybe try and push Semedo and Johnny up further to create more attacking intent and create more space for Traore and Neto. And also I'd like to see Jose just to make a few more runs in that box. I think Looms might comment on this. I think sometimes he's been a bit static and a bit reactive instead of making that run as well. But we have come into it in the last 15 minutes, and we do look threatening. Traore really looks in the mood tonight as well. But as I said, I think Newcastle are here for the taking. There's a lot of space on that pitch, and if we move the ball right, move the ball quick, I'm sure we'll create more chances.
Just what you're saying about Willie and Jose there, I think he's shown quite a lot in his link-up plays. It's got better as the game's gone on, but I have to agree, you know, when the ball's in wide areas, just that little movement, the couple of yards, it just creates that space. And then it makes Neto, you know, the one that Traore's kind of flipped across with his right foot, it makes Neto cut that one back. You know, he's taking the shot on, but did he have another option on? And I think that kind of movement, it puts that picture in the player's mind. But I expect a little bit more from him in around the box. But there is plenty of bodies getting in the box when we're in wide areas, which is a positive.
Looms, do you think that one, what Neto's put across the box, what Neves was going for? Do you think that Williams should have been sprinting at that front post a little bit more?
Well, it's one of them. You don't know what you're going to get. You know, if it's consistently, if it's between the last defender and goalkeeper all the time, then as a striker, you think, you know what, I'm going to break my neck and get across my man. You know, but then he's in two minds. Is he going to cut it back? So, but he was stuck. He never did anything. He never got there. He never cut back. So he's got to make. So he has got to make a decision and say, you know what, I've got to gamble. You know, Neves, look where Neves was. You know, he was only a couple of metres away from it, breaking his neck to get there. And that's where we want him to be.
I think that's what... Sorry, Looms, to cut you off. I think that's what I was mentioning, and that's why I was interested in Looms' opinion, and I totally agree with it. He's stuck in between both. He's not doing it. He's not doing either. He's not breaking his neck to go against the front man, or he's not pulling completely out. And I feel like if he does make that move, and thinking back to you didn't wait for someone you didn't wait for the ball to come in. You made your run straight away, didn't you? One for him, one for the defender, one for yourself. The
thing is, if Willie and Jose goes towards the front post there and he doesn't make it, he's taking someone away, and Neto cuts it back. Then Neves is coming onto that and putting it in the back of the net. So I know he wants to get his goal, but he still has to. He has to kind of force the issue a little bit. He has to choose one of the other teams. You're spot on. Do
you think that's confidence as well, Looms? Just to know that I'm just going for the front post. If it don't come, but I'm going to go.
Of course it is. You know, you can see he's doing things one touch, where I think sometimes he can just take a little touch and then put it, the one that he's fired back to Neto, and Neto's kind of took a great first touch, but then was tackled with the second touch. So I just think the players get up. He's a good player. Get up to speed with him. You know what I mean? But he's got to know what's around him. With Traore, if Traore's out in the wing, I'm telling you what, I'm making every run I can, because you know at some point or not the ball's going to be coming in the box. So I just want him to have that movement in that 18-yard area.
But as a striker, Looms, would you say to the wide players, would you say, look, I'm going to make my run to this area. That's where I want the ball? This
is one of the things I did, Tomo. You talk to your players. You know, they knew that I'm going to hang it up at the back, but I was always in the mind, if I can get a header on target or a shot on target, I'll take it. But if there's a player in a better position, I'll always put it back into the danger area. You know, so I just feel that it's communication, but the players will know. They'll know what Willie and Jose likes. They'll see it in training every day. So it's about giving them that. But again, when Neto's in that position, he's thinking, well, I'm just going to fire it into that space. Willie and Jose's got to be breaking his neck to get across the front man there.
Is there an element there? Because, Looms, you mentioned that, you know, it's maybe an inconsistency in the delivery, and we've seen it. And And there is positives to that in the way that Wolves do attack. But, we've seen a couple where Neto's cut back on his left foot. Then obviously the one at the end there where he's gone on his right. Adama Traore has hung a couple of crosses up, or he's more likely to cut in. I imagine as a central striker, that's quite hard. There was one where he and Johnny were running forwards, and I think he thought Johnny was going to play it ahead of him, and Johnny didn't, and it went inside. And
that's it. But he still has to make. So he's waited and waited. Johnny's not played the ball to him. So then he's got himself in the box. Then Johnny's released the ball. So that's just an understanding between players. Willie and Josie presents himself.
That's a difficult bit.
I'm going to bounce it off him. He's not there anymore.
Yeah, we totally had that.
Yeah,
you froze for a minute. You froze for a minute then, mate. Yeah, spot on, mate. Spot on.
If we can get a screen grab of the position that Looms was playing.
What was that?
He's like
that's what we needed at the front post, wasn't it? That's what we needed at the front post. But no, Mikey, you're spot on. The deliveries that are coming from wind areas are very different, but still, if he's breaking his neck, getting across the front post all the time and it's not coming, then he can have a go at the wide man and say, you know what, that's where I am. Put the ball in there and then keep doing it, and then eventually, he'll get on the end of it. But I want a little bit more when in that attacking third. I just feel that the movement, we're getting bodies in the box, but just that final bit of quality, the Neto touching the corner. With his shot, it's a need. Traore, whenever he gets on the ball, the quality's coming in. The same with Neto, to be fair. More often than not, he's getting that cross in. He's putting it into the danger area. We're getting bodies in there, but a little bit of quality of that final, that kind of deft touch. I think Yanni's just sent me a picture of the screen.
Right up you, mate.
That'll be the next picture for the Matchday Live.
Yeah, get it. Matchday Live,
yeah. I'm absolutely thrown by that picture of Looms. Just a final point before the teams come back out, Keems. You mentioned that you weren't happy with the way Wolves started that first half. Newcastle have shown that the way they're interplaying, certainly the front three, they are going to be still a threat in the second half, aren't they? And Wolves need to just be a little bit wary of that.
Yeah, of course, dangerous. I think the front three look quite lively to start off with, and especially down Semedo's side, causing us problems. But they're going to be a threat in the game. But I also think that the threat that they try and bring in the attacking football that they were trying in the first 30 minutes especially, leaves them open to at least a counter-attack, or if not, a little bit sharper passing, because that was my disappointment in the first 30 minutes. I was tearing the hair out I haven't got. So I was just looking and thinking, you just play that pass in there and Traore's there and he's running at the back four. It kind of seems that we're probably one or two passes on giving it to Neto and Traore, and they can start to get at the back four. So that was my disappointment in the first 30 minutes.
Okay, Wolves are back out. Newcastle will rejoin us shortly. More from Ikeme and Chris Iwelumo at full time. More from Tomo in just a second. Don't go anywhere. This is Wolves TV Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar. Being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money can't buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/Wolves-Lottery.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world.
So here we go, back underway for the second 45 minutes here at St James's Park. Newcastle 0, Wolves 0, both sides unchanged from the first 45 minutes.
Oh, they made one sub, I think. Ryan Fraser's come on.
It's a lovely little note. Thank you, Tomo.
It's okay.
Here's Martinho trying to work it out to the right-hand side to Semedo. Semedo trying to cut back infield. Now João Martinho, infield to Ruben Neves. It's Almiron, I think, that's gone off. And Ryan Fraser is on and playing in the same role through the middle. I'll confirm the two teams for you in just a second as Wolves continue to play it around on the right-hand side. And it was interesting that Traore and Neto had just switched and now they will go back. So Neto will head back over to the right-hand side. Wolves with Patricio in goal, Dendonka, Cody, Saiz, Semedo and Johnny the wing-backs, Neves, Martinho in midfield, Neto, Willian, Jose and Traore up top. Newcastle with Dubravka in goal, Kraft, who's in possession now on the halfway line, Lascelles, Clark and Lewis, and Willock, Hayden and Shelvey all in midfield, Joe Linton, Fraser and Sam Maximum now the three up top. Fraser closed down by Johnny. Ball's gone out of play and it will be a Wolves throw.
Yeah, good defending from Johnny there. Nice and tight to Fraser. Then, yeah, so he's just gone in that central position where Almiron was at, wasn't he?
Shelvey to hook it high over his head. Saiz calmly nodding it back to Rui Patricio.
Yeah, he did well there because he had a shout from somebody else. He said, look, but he knew what he was doing, so he took over the situation, which was good play from Saiz.
Should say, by the way, that tonight is João Martinho's 100th Premier League appearance. As Pedro Neto finds Johnny midway inside the Newcastle half, out to the left-hand side to Adama Traore. Traore trying to cut back infield here, still running on the edge of the area, trying to strike, and he was closed down by Shelvey. Martinho went into challenge, didn't quite know where the ball had gone. Neves followed up, and Martinho now finding Cody. He looks to ping one high out towards Neto, who's tried to cushion a header down to Semedo. Used his body to make sure the ball was his. Neves wide for Neto. Neto cutting back infield, finding Ruben Neves. Thought about crossing, instead goes infield to Martinho. Blocked off by Willock. Willian Jose challenges, but no, he went with his feet. And the Newcastle defender went with his head, and Isaac Hayden got the free kick.
Yeah, he's ducked down, as you know, so that was a point for it.
Here's Joe Linton on the right-hand side for Newcastle, up towards the edge of the penalty area, cutting back infield, pulling it back to Fraser, who strikes low, blocked by Cody. Newcastle are appealing as Hayden has a go for goal, and it's a long way wide of the right-hand post.
They can appeal all they want. Never handball.
Might have hit his arm after hitting his body.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's hit him on the hand.
Mike Dean, I think, signalling that VAR is just double-checking.
Oh, never. Oh,
hits his foot and comes up. And we're back underway. VAR check over. Say João Martinho getting to 100 league appearances. He's only the fourth man to have done that in the Premier League for Wolves. Closing in, Connor Cody amongst those closing in on Matt Jarvis's Wolves Premier League appearances record. Only about 10 away now. There's Ruben Neves. Might fancy a dig from distance. He did. He couldn't get it on target, though. It opened out nicely for him. Just over 20 yards from goal.
Well, he did really well there, didn't he? So, look, I know he had pressure on him, but he had a little drag back just to create that opportunity. I think he'll be disappointed with that. Yeah, he's looking up to the sky, but I think he'll be disappointed because he did really well just to create that opportunity for himself.
Simon says, come on, Wolves, 2-0, towering second half. Helen thinks that feel a goal is coming. Tony Bentley is not impressed with Willian Jose. or Adama Traore, or João Moutinho, or Ruben Neves. It's very, very poor all round. Hashtag Wolves Live for your views. Ryan Fraser back in field to Joe Linton. Sam Maximum, 25 yards from goal, shaping onto his right foot, striking. Hit the back of Cody and Saiss, I think, and behind for a corner. There's a decent tempo to the game again at the start of the second period. Played 5 minutes of it now.
Yeah, well, they've come out sharp again, haven't they, Newcastle? So the Wolves have started a little bit better, but still haven't really got anything in that top third, apart from that chance that we just saw with Neves.
Shelvey with the corner, taking it short to Sam Maximum, back to Shelvey. Level the edge of the penalty area, right foot cross. Semedo's header has looped high in the air. Patricio came and punched. It's played wide again to the left-hand side for Sam Maximum. Up against Semedo, getting into the penalty area, just about holding onto the ball. Sam Maximum manages to dig across out to the far post. Saiss getting the header away. Fraser picking up on it. He whips across in, headed downwards and headed in at the near post. And Newcastle get themselves in front through their captain, Jamal Lascelles. Felt like the pressure was going to tell in the end. Wolves were scrambling the ball clear. And at the third time of asking, in only a matter of seconds, Newcastle finally force it in. Newcastle 1, Wolves 0.
Yeah, you've got to stop the cross. You've got to stop that cross. That initial one, Saiss did really well. But you've got to come out to him. You've got to try and stop the cross there from going in. He's just got the run on the defence, the cells. But they've had opportunities to get rid of it. They've got 3 players around Maximum.
Yeah, he managed to dig it in. Saiss got that one away.
Yeah, he's got to stop it. Got to stop the ball coming in. Let's put it into a good area, Fraser.
For the 17th time this season, in 26 matches, Wolves concede first. The good news is that only Man United have won more points from losing positions than Wolves this season. And only Man City and Liverpool have won more points from losing positions in the last 3 years. Wolves' powers of recovery will be tested again. Newcastle throw just over halfway. Kraft with it. It'll be a different game now as well.
Yeah, it will. But you can't keep giving teams that advantage for me.
Johnny foul by Joe Linton. Just Newcastle started both halves the stronger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wolves survived first half. They haven't done so second.
Well, as I said, you can't give players that much time and space on the ball because they're going to hurt you sooner or later if you keep giving them chance after chance.
Neves out to the right side to Semedo, just over halfway. Trying to wriggle his way through, and he will end up winning a free kick. It's a couple of yards in from the touchline, finding Ruben Neves back into his own half to Connor Cody. Closed down by Fraser. Dendoncker. His pass has gone straight to Sam Maximum on the halfway line. And Sam Maximum now for Hayden. Dendoncker trying to get back there to make amends, and Hayden's gone onto the ground, and it will be a Wolves throw.
Yeah, but they've done it pretty well again. Newcastle putting pressure on that line, sprinting and closing them down quickly.
Neves trying to switch the play. Kraft will intercept with a header back over the halfway line. Joe Linton allowed to turn, find Kraft again, who helps it on in behind. Willock being tracked by Moutinho. He falls to the floor in the challenge of Moutinho and Saiss boots the ball away in frustration.
Well, it's minimal again, wasn't it? The contact from Saiss. Willock knew what he was doing into this corner.
Oh, it's not a free kick.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why he's kicked the ball away. He's annoyed. But again, inconsistency from the officials.
Fraser to try and whip it in, so Wolves aren't punished for that.
Well, they need to be careful because we are very, very deep, and they've got a couple of players. Willock's just on the edge of the box here, or 5 yards out of it.
Yeah, midway between the 6-yard line and the penalty spot, as it comes low to the edge of the box for Shelvey, who can't keep it down, and lifts it high over the top of the crossbar.
I don't like that, how deep we are. To sell up, was it just a 6-yard box as a line just between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box? And that gives people, if you just go on the edge of the box, as you saw there with John Joe Shelby, having a shot, having an opportunity. If they hit it first time, there's no way you're going to be able to get out there quick enough.
Newcastle 1, Wolves 0, 55 minutes played. Hayden winning the header. Saint-Maximin flicking on. Cody got there ahead of Fraser. Coutinho to Neves, now to Semedo. Over the halfway line he comes, trying to jink his run infield, finding Traore. Traore looking to skip away from Shelby. And then was he caught? Coutinho goes into challenge. Ball's going to go behind again for a goal kick.
For me, that if he's giving fouls for the other things, he's got to be giving the foul on Traore there. Yeah, and he's disappointed, Traore.
It's almost like Mike Dean has decided that if a player gets in front of someone and tries to hold them off and feels contact and goes over, that's a free kick. If it's in the course of just a natural challenge in the middle of the park, he's happy for it to go. And at the minute, that is going all against Wolves.
Well, I said that in the first half where for me, so look, he's made his mind up. That's what he's doing, and he's kind of done it against Wolves. And it's not fair. Again, you've got to do it for both teams or neither. And at the minute, he just seems to be leaning towards Newcastle.
Dendoncker under pressure here, being forced backwards. Got support from Neves. Neves a couple of yards out of his penalty area up to Neto. Nice little touch off to try and get Semedo running forwards. Infield to Neto. To Neves. Back to Neto. Now to Dendoncker just inside his own half. Back over halfway for Neves. Semedo to Moutinho. Wolves are moving the ball at speed. It's not getting close enough to the opposition goal at the minute. Johnny infield to Traore. Back to Johnny. Johnny trying to set off on the left. Infield to Traore. Ran behind him. And Kraft able to clear it early. Up to Saint-Maximin. Nuno throws his arms up in frustration down in front of us. But Neto's done really well to win it back.
He has done well. But I think he's frustrated because we've ended up going backwards. When we had opportunity.
Shelby crunching challenge. I think he definitely got the ball that time, but left Traore on the deck. Full-blooded that.
It was. And he has got the ball, but again, so it's just not happening at the minute. So Newcastle are controlling the game.
Well, there are options on the bench should Nuno want to change it. Kiana Hoover, Rayanate Nori, Fabio Silva, Morgan Gibbs-White, Vitinha, Max Kilman and Owen Otazawi are the subs. Wolves only naming 8 with John Ruddy, the goalkeeper. One short of their full complement with Marçal being injured. Patricio for Dendoncker, right inside of the penalty area, carrying it out and now finding Neves, who dropped short. Neves looking downfield, finding Pedro Neto. Neto turning across the centre circle, whipping it out to the left-hand side to Johnny. Johnny up against Emil Kraft. He's got Neto running past him. Johnny still with it on the corner of the box, trying to pull it infield towards Neves, who will try and take it on himself. And I think he was trying to reverse that infield. And he was blocked off. Dendoncker blocks Saint-Maximin. Hayden under pressure from Neves. Ball looping high. It's still not gone out of play yet. Wolves might just about be able to nick it back here. They have done with Neves. Infield to William Jose or miscontrol. Coutinho with a foot in. Both sides very scrappy here.
Oh, we've got to react a lot better than that. So he's headed the ball, Clark, and he's got no chance of putting any distance on it. And we're still second to the ball. Got to react a lot quicker than that.
We're approaching an hour played. Newcastle 1, Wolves 0 at St James's Park. Here's Neves midway inside the Newcastle half to Neto. Johnny making a great run on the outside of him. Neto decided to go for goal from distance, and it was always rising and found its way midway up the Lees' end behind the goal.
Yeah, he was always going over, wasn't he? He struck it well.
Mike Dean just wants to have a word with something here. They've got a Newcastle player down, so Maximum on the far side. They've got Willock down on the near side. I don't think they've quite noticed the Newcastle physios.
Yeah, they've left Willock, and they not to Maximum. He's got back up.
Willock is up.
Well, he's holding his groin, Willock. So if it is, that'll be a problem.
So Fabio Silva, Vitinha and Gibbs White have been the main men warming up for Wolves. Gibbs White just heading back into the stand. Quite a few players coming over to have a drink. Wolves need things to change. So you can have your say on the live chat on our official Wolves YouTube channel. Neves having a drink. William Jose coming over as well. Newcastle with some concerns over Alan Saint-Maximin on the far side. As Fabio Silva and Vitinha come back in to sit in the stand. What would you do, Tomo, at this stage? An hour gone. Trying to find a way back into the game.
It is. Just for me, I just think that we just need to press Newcastle a little bit harder. Now, at the minute, we're just allowing them just to play out and then they're getting the run on us and be more positive up in that top third. Because we seem to, I think Nuno was upset that we've got in a good position just outside their penalty area and we've ended up coming to pass it back to our back line. I think just be more confident, be a bit more positive and have a go. Try and force the issue onto them rather than just letting Newcastle just dictate what's going on. Oh, Maximin is not moving very well, so he's looking like he's got to bend his leg.
Yeah, he's heading towards the touchline on this near side. Tomo is one row behind the dugouts, a row behind Tomo. We're a little bit higher, but still a low position. Almost directly behind Steve Bruce, who's had to listen to us for most of the game. I think Saint-Maximin is going to head to the tunnel. Newcastle don't have a sub ready just yet.
Well, Lascelles is screaming at the dugout, saying he should have somebody ready, shouting to the coaching staff as well.
Saiss winning it in the air. Traore, now to Johnny, who's got some room to try and drive down the Wolves' left-hand side. Shelvey getting back in, a foot in, but the ball is going to roll and just go the right side of the corner flag as far as Wolves are concerned. Excellent work by Johnny again.
Yeah, so driving down this left-hand side from him.
It's Jacob Murphy that comes on for Alan Saint-Maximin.
Oh, goal scorer at the Molineux, wasn't he?
Can Wolves force a way back into this from the set piece? João Moutinho stood over it, right-footed from the left-hand side, looking to lift it in towards the danger zone, away by Lascelles. Johnny will have time to try and get hold of the ball. Back to Cody, just to the right of the centre circle. Trying to lift it towards William Jose, who's done well to bring that down under pressure. Neves infield to Moutinho, on for Traore. Saiss is still forwards. Here is Romain Saiss on the left wing. 1-2 with Neto, and then infield to João Moutinho. Johnny taking over. Feels like Wolves are maybe taking over. Neto to Johnny. Infield to Neto. Now to Johnny continuing his run. Driving infield from left to right to Traore. Couple yards on the edge of the box. Now towards Neves. Neves trying to slide it in towards the run of Semedo, who fires across all the way through the danger zone and through for a throw on the far side.
Oh, it needed to be hard and low. He's just hit it too high, hasn't he, Semedo? Good build-up play, better play from there. Just got to be hard and low for me. He's just hit it too hard. Yeah, he's just at the reach of everybody.
Johnny was in the penalty area as well as William Jose, waiting for a better delivery. It didn't quite come.
Yeah, that's where you just got to visit in across the ground there for me. It's a difficult one for the defenders to deal with.
Moutinho winning the header from the throw. Kraft clearing. Saiss nodding it down. Moutinho for Neves, who will turn and look out to Pedro Neto on the right-hand side. He's got Semedo making a run in field. He'll play it backwards to Neves. Now infield to Moutinho. Moutinho turning and looking forwards, and Semedo is his option out on the right-hand touchline. Now to infield to Pedro Neto, midway inside the half. Inside to Ruben Neves. Neves will try and thread it wide again for a run of João Moutinho had popped up out on that right. It was too hard for him.
But if we're trying to force it down that right-hand side, if you just look out on the left here, we've got Saiz, we've got Traore out on the left-hand side. If they just open the body up a little bit, just to switch the play, we've got like 2 against 1 down this left-hand side.
Yeah, they're
just trying to force it a little bit.
Yeah, getting into decent areas, aren't they? And it's just final ball hasn't been on the money tonight.
No, well, they're going to have to do something to get themselves back into this game. And they're going to have to add a little bit better quality in that top third.
Dubravka's kick over the top of Joe Linton. Saiz finding Neves. Neves trying to set Traore away, and he knows Traore has got the speed. Across came Lascelles. Puts it out of play for a Wolves throw. Johnny trying to get on with things. Traore cutting in field. Now trying to go on the outside again down this left-hand side. Traore left-footed cross, took a little deflection. Willian Jose tried to tee it up, and Shelvey knew that Neves was a danger and closed him down quickly. Cody with a header. Murphy, that's a handball.
Yeah.
Wolves free kick.
Well, I'll tell you what, fortunate. It was handball. But if he didn't get it, so he was in trouble.
Oh, Moutinho trying to lift it wide. He's lucky that Kraft's header went straight to Neves. There's never enough pace on that to get to Traore. Lost out to Willock. Joe Linton, well intercepted by João Moutinho this time.
Oh, he got hurt in the gentleman's region, I think.
He found Traore, and Saiz puts it out of play because Moutinho.
Oh, I think he got the full brunt of it.
I think it's on his knee rather than the unmentionables.
And they've got a player down as well again.
Kraft is the player this time. Dropping like flies as far as Newcastle are concerned.
Well, Willock was holding his groin earlier as well. He was on the ground. He seems to have recovered.
Oh, it was one of those knee on knee when Moutinho intercepted it, and that's sore.
Oh, yeah. Well, they are. Right on the bone. Oh, yeah, he's hobbling. They take a while to ease off.
Well, 67.5 minutes played. Shelvey will give possession back to Wolves by launching it all the way to Rui Patricio. Still no sign of a substitution just yet. How long will Nuno leave it? Wolves are dominating possession in the second half now, 70-30. They've not created an effort on target. Here's Neto. Semedo was right next to him, and Neto just touched it to the side, and Nuno really frustrated down in front of us.
Well, he's too close to him. He's right, he's near enough on him, isn't he, when he's there?
Neves for Traore. Out to the left-hand side to Johnny. Up against Kraft. He's got him isolated. Johnny trying to lift a right-footed cross in. Headed away by Lascelles at the near post. Johnny challenging again to try and win it back. Joe Linton just about holding him off. And in the end, a free kick given. Johnny snapping away. Too much for Mike Dean's liking.
Well.
What can they do here, Tomo? What do they need to change?
Well, I think they're probably going to have to change something in that midfield area for me. I think they've just got to get a little bit tighter. I don't know if to go with 4 at the back even. I know they're playing 3, but try and just get somebody more forward. But for me as well, I'd just like to see us a bit more confident in that top third. Take the game to Newcastle.
Newcastle might be considering another change shortly as Willock chases a long ball. There'll be a Wolves throw, but deep inside their own half. Just about 20 minutes to go. Newcastle 1, Wolves 0. On Wolves TV, Matchday Live Extra. Moutinho finding Willian Jose. Good ball infield to Neves, who let it run across his body, but he managed to work it onto Semedo, who's got Neto running to his right-hand side. Here is Pedro Neto up at the right-hand side of the penalty area. Back onto his left foot, lifting across towards the far post. It was just bounced awkwardly in front of Traore, who pulls back to Moutinho, trying to cross to the far post. Neto was arriving, and it came off Lewis and will be a Wolves corner.
That's better quality, though, at least. At least they're asking a few more questions of Newcastle. But still no opportunity at goal.
Matt Ritchie is stripped and ready to come on for the home side. In the meantime, João Moutinho with the corner. Right-footed from the right-hand side. Ready to try and lift in. It's not a bad hanging delivery. Saiz couldn't quite get to it. It was headed back towards Moutinho. Neto getting it under control. It took too long and he's lost possession. And Murphy to try and carry it on and trying to feed it through the middle towards Fraser. Cody read the danger and got it back to Patricio.
Well played. Well played from Connor Cody. Oh.
And here comes the Newcastle change. Emil Kraft is the man being replaced by Matt Ritchie. He was more of a winger back in the day, but has operated quite a bit in a more fullback role. But if you're Adama Traore and Johnny, you're thinking, let's get at him now.
Well, yes, well, he's more of a tap-minded left-sided player, isn't he? Ritchie.
I wonder if they might try and just tweak something.
I think Hayden's going to come out to this right-hand side. I think he's been told to tell him.
Long switched pass towards Joe Linton. Has support from Willock. Willock trying to make a little run down the Newcastle right, and his cross is going to be too high. Murphy and Lewis giving chase. Neto getting there ahead of both of them. Semedo right down by his own right-hand corner flag, and he's passed it straight to Lewis. Infield to Fraser. Pulled back towards Ritchie, sending it up for Shelvey. To the right-hand side of the box to Joe Linton, who strikes it goalwards, but straight out the waiting Rui Patricio.
But again, so you just see the difference in them. When they run with the ball, they go past players as such. You saw Willock there just going past 2 or 3 players. It's too easy. You've got to try and do something a little bit better and put a stop on it.
Patricio threw it out. Johnny is just about held on to it. Saiz to Neves, back to Saiz. Clever ball infield to the middle of his half to Moutinho, who turns and finds Semedo, who carries it over the halfway line at speed. Neto to his right. Here is Pedro Neto up against Jamal Lewis, trying to go on the outside of him on his right foot, crossing in. Neves' header. Oh, yes. Brilliant.
There you go.
Brilliant equaliser. Pedro Neto's cross, and Ruben Neves just cannot stop scoring in 2021. In the right place, arriving there with a sweet header into the bottom corner. It's Newcastle 1, Wolves 1.
Well, there you go. There's an example of what I was talking about. Drive at them, try and get them to come out there. But Neto did absolutely brilliant. Just dug it out. But look at that. Neves in there again. Great header because it was behind him. It's a great header from Neves. He's had it all to do. But positive play. That's what we're talking about. Commit the players into defending. Yeah. Good header. Good header. Just slightly behind him. Oh, yeah. Well done, Neves.
It's Ruben Neves' 5th goal of the season, and they have all come since the turn of the year.
But that's what I'm talking about, being positive in that top third. You saw it there, got the break. They beat the press from Newcastle. Got down that right-hand side. He's got one-on-one, and we know he's got the pace to beat anybody. And he just picks out a great cross.
5 goals in 12 appearances for Ruben Neves since he scored from the spot at Brighton on the 2nd of January. We talked about having other players in the team beginning to contribute with goals.
Yeah.
Well, Ruben Neves is certainly doing that.
But we've seen him get into the box. We've never really seen him get into that box area.
And now Traore. He thought William Jose was closer to him than he was. Moutinho trying to block Jonjo Shelvey. Lewis forwards. Murphy. Now here's Shelvey. Out to the right-hand side to Ritchie. Left-footed cross is going to go all the way through. And behind for a goal kick. Newcastle 1, Wolves 1. 75 minutes played.
Well, you got yourselves back into it now, but again, so look, we just saw there with Traore. That's happened half a dozen times where miscommunication, where we just give away the ball. That's where it's got to be better, especially against opposition that you're trying to beat and get that advantage. So look, if it keeps breaking down, it just gives them the advantage.
Clark's header forwards. Dendoncker lifting it back away. Clark again behind, and Semedo.
He just
fouling
stopped.
Fraser.
He just stopped Fraser. He just put the brakes on. He knew he was running. Semedo was looking at the ball.
He got the wrong side of Nelson Semedo, didn't he?
Yeah, he just put the brakes on though, didn't he? Just stood still.
Again, it's one of those where you think if you've got a VAR official, why not use it in some of these circumstances and just say, look, that's an unnatural thing to do. You wouldn't just stop running. Surely you'd run after it.
But the referee can see that. It's that blatant. The referee can see that as well without VAR. You can see that he's put the brakes on him. Semedo's looking at the ball. He's just running backwards.
It's another opportunity to whip it into the Wolves penalty area, and Fraser does that. Williams Jose with a very good defensive header, and Neves completing the clearance. Neto is giving chase here and putting real pressure on Lewis, who went back to Dubravka. Lewis, ball taking a little deflection. Dendoncker with a foot on it. Lascelles was still forwards, and his pass wide evades two players and goes out of play for a Wolves throw. Well, 1-1 has been a fashionable scoreline in this fixture. I can't believe I didn't predict it beforehand.
Well, you even mentioned it, that these two teams are close.
I just can't bring myself not to predict a Wolves win.
I know, I'm exactly the same.
Still time. Traore couldn't quite take a ball from Romain Saiz.
Yeah, he's struggled to get into the second half, really, hasn't he? So he finished the first half really well, Traore. So Williams not really been in the game either, has he? Neto's probably had more of an input out of the three. I'm sure they'll make a change probably in that front line.
13 minutes to go. You wonder how much longer Johnny will last in this game. He's having to track back again because Murphy has popped up on this right-hand side. It's been forced backwards by Johnny and then falls to the floor.
Really?
Mike Dean is such a long way away. And there's bodies in the way as well that you just can't see that Murphy's just fallen to the floor. I mean, if that's a free kick, then there would be hundreds of free kicks a game.
To be fair, though, that's what he's given. He's given Newcastle all those. So look, he didn't give him any in that first half. You can see that he just fell to his knees.
Shelvey to try and launch it deep into the Wolves penalty area. It was Clark's header that loops over the top of the crossbar and behind. But 12 minutes to go.
But it's going on all the time, isn't it? Basically, they're conning the referees into giving them decisions, and I just think that, so look, they've got to be better than that now for me, officials. They've got to know when they're being conned or not. Because it's like they're getting free kicks out of nothing.
Rui Patricio to take the resulting goal kick. It was just a moment where Romain Saiz had just touched the ball and Joe Linton thought that it was a live play. Rui Patricio was trying to say no, it wasn't.
Well, do you think anything else?
Neves chasing down the goalkeeper, Dubravka. Oh, he was so close to getting it. The clearance goes as far as Traore. Traore out to the right-hand side to Pedro Neto. Neto, one-on-one with his man. Can he get a decent cross in again? This time he goes to the byline, hangs it to the far post. It was Neves arriving again, and he's penalised for a push at the far post. Wow, what an all-action couple of minutes he's having.
Well, you're looking at him now, so like sprinting forward to close the goalkeeper down, getting at the back post with the header. He's definitely got the bit between his teeth about getting goals this season, and that's what we want to see from him.
Spoke the other week about Ruben Neves. He's 24 in March, and it feels like now is his time to really stamp his authority. We know what a good player he can be, but João Moutinho is not going to be there forever, and it could well be that. Well, how is that not a foul on Neves? Pushed in the back by Fraser. Willian Jose. Here's Matinho. Trying to play it on for Neto, just intercepted by Lewis.
What's the difference between that and the one that we've just seen down here with Murphy? Nothing.
Well, that was more of a foul than any of the ones that Newcastle have been given.
Like I said, he's just made his mind up that he's not going to give Wolves anything like that anyway.
There's Shelvey. Low across the centre circle for Lascelles. Fabio Silva stripped and ready to come on in just a moment. For the final 10 minutes at St James's Park as both sides try to find a winner. Lewis on the left-hand side for Newcastle. Back to halfway to Kieran Clark. Into the centre circle for Lascelles. His goal gave Newcastle the lead 7 minutes after half-time. That's the right-hand side to Murphy. He's just got the better of Johnny. And trying to get infield away from Saiss and still running up towards the edge of the box and still going. And it's still Murphy and he pulls it back for Joe Linton. And somehow Wolves have kept it out. Oh my word, how have they done so?
I think it's hit Saiss on the back of his head. It's definitely hit him.
For all the world, it looked like Joe Linton from pretty much the penalty spot was sweeping it in. And Romain Saiss has somehow got himself in the way of it. And it's looped up just over the top of the crossbar. Wow, Romain Saiss.
But that's come again from a run from deep from one of their players. Got to stop that. Happened a couple too many times for me. But great defending from Saiss, getting back.
Newcastle's corner. Fraser right-footed from the left-hand side. Cody winning the header. It just goes high in the air. Traore gets it out. Ritchie tries to strike it goalwards, and it's well wide and behind for a goal kick. And if Wolves go on to get anything from this game, even possibly all 3 points, they will point to that moment where Romain Saiss saved what had to be a goal-bound effort. He's got no right to block this.
Yeah.
Unbelievable defending.
Yeah, it was. Has it come Patricio first, or did it just hit him?
Maybe an ever so slight deflection.
Yeah.
Fabio Silva is on for Willian Jose. Semedo is down in the Wolves penalty area with a problem. Maybe a touch of cramp.
It looks like it the way that
in
kind
the
of
thigh, maybe. Yeah. And the groin, he was definitely getting something stretched out. And Kiana Hoover is getting stripped and ready. The Wolves might be forced into a second change very quickly.
Yeah, got away with it there, didn't they? But Murphy's just run past like basically 3 or 4 players.
I was just looking down. Johnny was just having a rest, sat on the advertising hoarding down to your right-hand side.
It's been a tough night.
And now he's having a drink and chatting with the assistant referee. Gotta love Johnny.
He's done well since he's come back, hasn't he?
He's an important player.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he's done really well since he's come back.
So Kiana Hoover is stripped and ready. And we hope that that's nothing serious for Nelson Semedo. Hoover is a good replacement to have, though. Semedo is on his feet. And will go off behind the goal. I think he may well want to come back on, judging from the reaction from the Doc Matt Perry there. It's not, yeah, he's walking towards the far side, not the near side, so it's not like he's coming off straight away.
Well, I think Johnny's asking the question to Nuno, whether or not he's staying on or coming off.
He's stretching out, isn't he? Yeah, well, Hoover wanted to come on, and I don't think he realised, Semedo's now saying, I need to be replaced.
I was going to say, he's running down the line then, and Hoover's going on.
I think he was just testing it, Nelson Semedo, and made the signal towards the bench that no, he would have to be replaced. So Kiana Hoover is on. And Patricio's kick forwards. Fabio Silva beaten in the air by Clark. Saiss playing it back to Patricio. There's an awkward bobble in front of him. He had to take a couple of touches. Neves challenging with Murphy. Ball drops to Matinho. First contribution here for Hoover. is to carry it over the halfway line and show too much of it to Fraser and lose possession.
Oh, that's a shame, wasn't it? To say he was just in full flight there, but just lost control of it.
Officially 5 minutes to go. Here's Willock just about held off Matinho and Fabio Silva and carrying it over the halfway line. Fabio Silva tracking him all the way. It's out down that left-hand side for Lewis. Just being held up by Fabio Silva. Wide to Fraser, cutting infield on his right foot, whipping his cross in. Headed away by Dendoncker. Shelvey, midway inside the Wolves half. Clipping it out to the right to Murphy. Pressured by Johnny. Backwards to Lascelles. Wide again to Murphy. Johnny was showing him down the line. He tries to clip it on for Ritchie, who got in behind Saiz into the penalty area. Low one. Neves got a touch to it. It's teed up for Shelvey. Shelvey on his left foot. Big deflection on it, and it's behind for another Newcastle corner.
Yeah, so the Wolves are appealing for offside against Ritchie. And they're not going to get it. So, but yeah, good block.
We have 4 minutes of the 90 remaining. Newcastle 1, Wolves 1. St James's Park on this cold Saturday night as Fraser whips it in right-footed from the left-hand side. Cody headed it away and he got smacked in the head by Rui Patricio.
I was going to say, I think it was Patricio who'd come out to punch it, hadn't he? Connor Cody's just got his head to it.
Cody, well, we joked with him the other week, didn't we? Was it against Leeds where if you stop the play for a head injury, you automatically get the restart in your own penalty area? So Rui Patricio punching him in the head means Wolves get the ball here.
I don't think he'd done it for that reason, though.
I think Lascelles is asking the question of how we're going to restart, and I think we're going to have
a drop ball.
We're having an old school drop ball here.
No, he'll blow for a free kick anyway when he drops it.
Well, Cody's talking to Mike Dean, and I think Cody's making the point that if you stopped it for our head injury, then it should be our ball. Mike Dean. Well, obviously, it's not contested drop ball, so he's going to drop it to Shelvey, and Shelvey may well end up just smacking this on the half volley. This is effectively just teeing him up.
Really?
Matinho is primed, ready to close in. He does so, and Shelvey falls over and wins a free kick. I hope he's okay, Tomo. Oh, goodness me.
He's laddered his sock, so he's...
It's a Newcastle free kick, and it's probably just on the edge of being within range.
Yeah. Well, Murphy got the one at our place, and he fancies this one from there, by the look of it. He's the one teeing it up.
Wolves haven't put a wall in place. Ruben Neves effectively is the wall, and he is a yard ahead of the D, ever so slightly to the left of centre as you look towards goal. Ritchie and Murphy stood over the ball. Which one will it be? It's Murphy, the right footer. It deflects off Ruben Neves and comes to Adama Traore. And Traore may well be able to set off here. And he's reached the halfway line already. And there are Newcastle players trying to get back with him as Traore tries to run through the middle. And he's heading out towards the right-hand side. And now if he looks up, he can feed it out to Neto. Oh, and he overhits the pass. Oh, goodness me.
That bit of care again, and that's what's let him down. He's done brilliant there, Traore. He's got like about 4 or 5 players chasing after him. And again, when it comes down to just that simple passing out there to Neto, and you can see Neto's frustrated, waving his arms. He's just got to take a little bit of care, make sure he gets to his target.
Newcastle 1, Wolves 1, into the final minute of the 90. Connor Cody in possession for Wolves to Johnny. Johnny away. Oh, he's lost out on possession here. Willock, he needed Neves to get a foot in. And now Saiz up to Traore, who tries to roll Hayden. and carry it out down this left-hand side. And now trying to run on the outside of Isaac Hayden. Left-footed cross deflects to Johnny on the edge of the box, and Johnny trying to curl it towards the far corner. Just didn't quite get enough whip on it.
Yeah, you could see what he was trying to do, couldn't you? He just didn't get his foot round it. But again, being positive, Traore on this left-hand side. Deflection just fell to Johnny. You can see Neves there, just behind him as well, Johnny. He's asking him just to roll it back to him.
5 minutes will be added on. 5 minutes left to play at St James's Park. 5 minutes for either side to try and find a winner, or we'll have the 5th 1-1 draw in a row between these two. Moutinho forwards, Fabio Silva on the halfway line. Moutinho just trying to lift it to that left-hand side. It ends up being a good ball because Traore making the most of it. And again, trying to go on the outside of Murphy. Still running Traore. Left-footed cross hanging high to the far post. Will come through to Kiana Hoover. It gives it to Neto out on the right-hand side. Neto looking back infield on his left foot. Infield to the feet of Fabio Silva, trying to hold it up. Back wide to Kiana Hoover. Pulling it back towards Neves. Takes one touch. Now pulling it to his left-hand side to Saiz. Saiz to lift a cross in. Fabio Silva was arriving, and that came off a Newcastle head. It'll be a Wolves corner.
Yeah, better play, isn't it? Better play, good pressure. Good quality in from Saiz there, being patient, just keeping the ball till it was right. It's good ball in from Saiz. Did well there, Silva, just trying to get ahead of it.
Rain Nouri is stripped and ready to come on after Wolves have taken this corner. João Moutinho, right-footed from the left-hand side. We've already played over a minute of the 5 being added on. Newcastle have got everybody pretty much back inside their own 6-yard box.
Yeah.
5 gold shirts to aim for. Moutinho in towards the near post. Dendoncker with it, pulling it back to Neto. Neto's left-footed cross towards the far post. Oh, it's it! Oh, no, it's a wide.
He's not scored, it saved it.
Fabio Silva was arriving. From our angle, it looked like it was going to drop in at the far post, and somehow it stayed out.
I think Debrecka has just saved it for me. I think Silva's got his head to it.
Moutinho with the corner again. Right-footed from the left-hand side. Whipped in towards the near post. Newcastle head tries to get it clear to the edge of the box. Traore challenging. Neto heading wide again towards Moutinho and cleared away by Ritchie. And a good interception by Johnny. Can Wolves get going again? They're pushing for a late winner here. Traore on the left-hand side. Neto running past him on the overlap. Neto's cross fizzes all the way through the penalty area once more. And Fraser should be able just to hoof it downfield and buy Newcastle a bit of time. 2.5 still to play.
Yeah, so it's been some good pressure from them, hasn't it? Just got to keep going now. Just keep going. We've got Newcastle on the back foot.
Saiz for Hoover. Infield to Neves. Now João Moutinho. To Johnny. Inside the Newcastle half. Wide to the left to Traore. Traore up against Hayden. Stopped. Ran past him into the penalty area. Low cross turned away by Lascelles. And Saiz will have plenty of time to get back and collect it and find Johnny again. He's waiting for Traore to get back on side. Moutinho, Saiz down the line for Johnny. Johnny will buy a free kick in the same way that Newcastle have bought one so many times before.
I think that'll be Johnny's last thing, I think.
Yeah, and here he is.
He's rolled off. He's rolled off the pitch. I've just missed that replay again. I think he saved it, the keeper. He has.
It just hit him and then hit the underside of the crossbar.
Yeah, that's what I thought he had.
Oh, my word.
I don't think he knew much about it. The Bradcat.
Wolves still have a minute to try and steal all 3 points.
It's been some good pressure, hasn't it?
Moutinho and Neto stood waiting. Neto flicks it for Moutinho, who carries it infield. Now finding Traore, central position. To his right-hand side to Hoover. Hoover will just try and stand it up towards Dendoncker, who nods it down, and Moutinho couldn't quite reach it. Ritchie just cleared it. Shelvey finding Fraser. And now Newcastle's turn to try and hit on the counter. Shelvey. It's helped on by Joe Linton. Low ball back in towards Shelvey, who dives on the edge of the box, surely. Mike Dean just waves away protest, but He was again trying to buy a free kick and this time trying to buy a penalty. Here comes Murphy cutting in field. Last 20 seconds of the 5 minutes being added on. Kieran Clark for Jamal Lewis. Wide to Fraser, back to Lewis. Being forced backwards by Fabio Silva. And his ball will go out of play for a Wolves throw.
Yeah. It's just, you know, when your luck's not in, isn't it? With that chance. It's hit the keeper and it's hit the bar and gone out of play. It's rolled basically across the line.
And the final whistle goes here at St James's Park. And it is a 5th 1-1 draw in a row between Newcastle and Wolves. Newcastle in front early in the second half. Jamal Lascelles meeting a crossing from the right-hand side, heading down and low in at the near post. Wolves went pressing for an equaliser, and it eventually came after 73 minutes when Pedro Neto's cross was met at the far post superbly by Ruben Neves for his 5th goal of the season. Wolves went close late on. Fabio Silva will feel like he maybe could have won it, but in the end, these two will share the points again. The most drawn fixture in the Premier League ended Newcastle 1, Wolves 1.
Yeah, so look, they showed some spirit towards the end then. Wolves, so look, coming forward. So look, and again, coming from behind. We know they can do it, but so look, they shouldn't have to. It's a great header from Neves because he had to lean back a little bit just to direct the header. But again, how tough is it, so look, when you get a ball in there, you got to head onto it, and it's just hit the keeper, hit the bar, and basically just rolled out. It could have gone in easily. So they'll probably think that it's misfortune that they didn't get that win, but again, it's a point and just adds to the tally.
And it keeps their little unbeaten run going in terms of the Premier League as well.
Yeah, it does. And again, so look, you can see there, I still think that they give Newcastle too much time and space. And again, the goal, the one where Saiss has cleared it off the line, or it's hit him on the line, a bit of fortune. But for me, they've just got to take the game to the opposition a little bit more. We've got the ability, we've got the players, and we've just got to do it. So look, they'll be disappointed coming off with a 1-1 draw. But again, so at least it's that point. They're not very happy with the referee, but the coaching staff of Wolves anyway.
We'll take a very quick break and then we'll get more from Tomo, and we'll also hear, of course, from Chris Iwelumo and Carl Ikeme on Wolves TV Matchday Live Extra. Don't go anywhere.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar. Being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money-can't-buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/Wolves-Lottery.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear, and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Full time at St James's Park then. Newcastle 1, Wolves 1. But should they have got all 3 points, Carl Ikeme?
Sorry, mate, my mic went on then. Yanni, Possibly so. Great chance at the end, wasn't it? Fantastic save as well, I'd have to say, as well, coming from the goalkeeper.
Come on, Hughes, it's never been intentional save, mate. It's hit him on the shoulder.
No.
It's hit him on the shoulder, fella. Talk to me.
Looms, I've just watched it again. He's moved. He's reacted to it.
Was it a shoulder? Was it?
Shoulder. The little shoulder one.
To roll across the crossbar, yeah. Keeps, come on, mate.
Behave, mate. I've seen some of your dodgy goals that will credit to you as well, mate. Do you know what I mean? So,
goals a goal, fella.
Yeah, exactly. Saves a save, mate. Saves a save. But listen, I'm not arguing about a Newcastle goalkeeper, but great, fantastic chance, fantastic save at the end. I think the intent was probably with us second half more. Yeah. I don't think we worked the goalkeeper enough. In all honesty, that being my only one criticism. But Sai's, what a clearance as well for us at the other end. So I suppose there might not be an argument for a 1-1 today, even though I did feel that we had the better play in the second half.
That element, Chris Iwelumo, wasn't it, where Wolves started poorly in the first half, weren't quite at it, survived, didn't get away with it second half.
No, well, we finished the first half so strong. The halftime whistle probably came at the wrong time, but it's so important that when the players come into that dressing room, we've all been there, is that, right, you're all talking, you're giving each other information, you've got a little bit of a buzz, you just want to get back out there again. But we never started with that same intensity, and you get punished. At the end of the day, Newcastle have some very, very, very kind of individually talented players as well. I have to say we got punished, but we grew into it again. We reacted. How many times have we came from behind them and put points, if it's 1 point or 3 points on the board? We've done it too many times. And it's just, I think Tom will said it in commentary, rather than react to going behind, let's try and get that first goal. It's so important, and then it gives us a little bit more confidence to play the way that we do. But small margins, isn't it? The save off of Fabio Silva, again, he done everything right. He's hit the target, hasn't he? But then Sai's just experience. He knows that Joe Linton's going to get the shot away, and he just gets himself in the goal line. Never knew much about it, but outstanding defending. It was fantastic clearance.
I think it's one of them games where Nuno will be going in, and he'll be quite happy in a way with his performance. He'll know that the results don't always go your way, but there were some really good moments in the game, some real individual performances as well. Neves scoring again, it's a big plus. He's really starting to add goals to his games of the second half of the season, and there's a lot of positives to take. Obviously, we don't want to go behind in games, but I did felt like we did take the game to Newcastle, and the Newcastle goal was a little bit against the run of play. Maybe a little bit disappointed to concede the goal, but it does happen. It's a great ball in and a great time run as well. For Newcastle goal, so disappointing result. Maybe possibly could have got all three, but on the whole, I felt like we did play a lot better that second half.
We have to talk about Neves. For again, he's breaking his neck to get in the box. Something that I think we've all been quite critical. That he gets it a little bit deeper. But you know what? What a header that is. He's went in and then he's having to work his feet. He's behind it, but he gets the direction on it. There was a lot of power on the cross. So again, there's a lot of power in the header. They're saying on the commentary there as well, in your commentary, that the keeper's hand, I think it's a difficult one for the goalkeeper. He's came a long way to get a strong hand on that. It was a fantastically, very accurate header from Neves.
Yeah, and I think I said to you, Tomo, in commentary that, it is quite remarkable, the goal-scoring run that he is now on. And we've talked a lot about other players in the team needing to step up and start contributing. And we talked at half-time, didn't we, about the one in the first half where he was sliding in at the far post nearly on the end of things. That's what fans want to see from Ruben Neves.
Well, we've said that we want to see more goals from him, and he's starting to do that. He's starting to get higher up the pitch. He's starting to get into the box. He's starting to get on the end of things. You saw him a couple of times on the edge of the penalty area. He's calling for that ball, trying to get a shot away. But that's what we want to see. We knew he could do it, and he's proving that he can. And just by being a little bit more confident, getting into that penalty area, he's going to add goals because he's got quality. And I agree with Looms with the header. It was a great header because it was just a little bit behind him. He's had to get the direction right. He's had to put it into the bottom corner and say he's just timed his run to perfection. I could say it was a good ball from Neto, and that's what we're talking about, putting that quality into the penalty area, and that's what we need. You need that final product. We've seen it a couple of times tonight again, where that little bit more care. I think that we could have got a few more goals, but unfortunately, so we've only got the point. I'm kind of with you, Looms, about the save from the keeper where Keeves has said he saved it. I don't know.
Yeah, fellas, you both.
I think it's
fellas.
Look, he can't even look at the screen. He's getting angry. Look, Keeves, don't get him angry, mate. Don't get him angry.
Looms, what's happened, mate? You've just discredited the goalkeeper for a wonder save and saying that he couldn't have done nothing about Neves' header. Come on, mate. You're going soft, mate.
Like you say, it's just he's kept his body big. You've said it's a reaction shoulder, but you know, it's about the inches, isn't it? I'm not going to do the Al Pacino speech here, but if Fabio Silva 1 inch higher, it's in the back of the net, and that's what I'm trying to say. You know, he's done everything right. He's hit the target, but those are the moments that can define a career, a season. Just hit consistently, boom, boom, boom. He's had so many chances, and it's just, we see it. The keeper's pulled off a great save. Fabio Silva there, 3 yards from goals, back in the net.
I feel a bit sorry for Fabio because I thought he'd done really well when he come on.
Yeah,
and,
as he does.
I think there's been times where he has got his shot on target and made the keeper make work, and it's just
hit the post a couple of times as well.
Yeah, hit the post, and like again today, like. I thought it was. I'm going to say again. I thought it was a great save. I don't. Looms. What else could he have done? He's hit the target. He's close in. Yeah. You expect it to go in, and I thought I was impressed with him when he came on. I know he didn't have long, but I thought he was really good. His movement was really good. Got involved in the game and was on the move in the box.
Yeah, I'd just like to see us a little bit more clinical in that top half of the pitch. For me, I know that we played better in the second half, but I just think that we've got to take it a little bit more. There was a couple of times when we've got the ball on the edge of the box and we've ended up coming back to the off-eye line. Just be positive. Just try and commit their players into it. Because once you get around that area or in that area, they've got to be so careful about the challenges coming in. And I would just like to see us be more positive in that top third for me.
If we're talking about positives, though, effectively Johnny played 92 minutes, really 93 probably, which for him, and you could, I don't know whether it was on the TV, but he was stretching an awful lot for the last kind of 5-10 minutes of the game. Wolves lost Nelson Semedo though, which will be a little bit of a concern to them. So it's almost like they've got a left wing back and they might be losing the right wing back, which I guess is just how this season has been going a little bit. Let's talk about Adama Traore second half, actually. And I guess maybe Looms the final 10 minutes being the key period for him, because it felt, and Tomo mentioned that he'd been a little bit quiet for a part of that second half, and then suddenly he came to life. And if he plays like that, he's unplayable.
Yeah, he is. He is. He goes past players with such ease. And I've got to say, he's done it time and time again, even in that second half. But what I will have to say is just that final pass. It's like it's not up to the quality of the rest of it. Just pick your man out. The little one that he's done ever so well, he's went past two of them. He's in the box and he plays it across with the outside of his foot. When there was no one there, it was going to get cut out. That's when I think take it to the goal line, take it towards the goal. Commit someone, and then you just find, and basically it's a one-touch finish for 2-3 players that are in the box here. I think he's outstanding. I love him to bits. I think he's got absolutely everything. We want more goals from him, which he has. He's got that in the bank, 100%. The assists, we see the quality that he puts into the box. It needs to be more consistent because we know that's why teams see him as a threat and they double up on him, because he is such a threat. He's got that explosive pace that he can just go from standing, stop-start, and he's gone. You know what I mean? And it's just, can we get more consistency just at the final end of it? That final pass, that final execution, because he's going to create goals for others as well and score goals himself.
Yeah, without a doubt. So look, it's exciting to watch, and that's what people want to see. There was at one stage, I think he had 5 players chasing after him in that second half, and that's the threat that he is, and that's what they think about him, that they've got to try and stop him. And if he can just produce a little bit better quality in that top third and have a little bit more care, I'll tell you what, he's near enough unplayable anyway when he has got the ball. But I'll tell you what, if he could just sort that out where he was last year, because you say that's what he was producing last year with all his assists. I just think that he just needs to have that little bit more care in that top third for me.
I think you can start. You're starting to see the best of him again, though. I think we probably can all agree. I think he had a slow start to the season, wasn't involved a lot, and then with a sticky moment for ourselves as well. I think losing Raul was probably big for him. We was talking a little bit earlier about he was going to the byline. I think that was based on Raul's game, because that touch to the byline and cross, Raul would be scoring a lot of goals, and Troy would be having a lot of assists from there. And you're starting to see the confidence come back into Troy. We always talked about end product, and his end product can get better, but he's a real threat. He's looking a real threat now. He's creating more. He's creating more for our strikers. He's dipping to the left side, and I suppose not a criticism to him is possibly to even cut in and get a few more shots off in the 18-yard box as well. But he's starting to think. He's starting to change sides. Starting to come inside. Starting to stay out wide. He's starting to pull defenders and centre midfielders about a lot more, because they were just doubling up on him at the start of the season, and he's making it a little bit predictable.
Man of the match, what would you say, Tomo? I'll come to you first on this. I mean, it's probably a slightly difficult one. There were some decent performances, certainly in that last period of the second half.
I'm going to go for Neves for his goal. That's for me. So, like, I thought that he got in there 2 or 3 times as well. He was always looking to be positive on the edge of the box and in that top third. So I'm going to go for Neves for me.
Looms?
Got to agree. I think box to box and defensively tidies up, but again, his goal return as well. That's what we've all asked of him. He's getting himself in there time and time again, and the finish was outstanding.
Can't like him. I think he's pondering because he doesn't want to agree with these.
Yeah, he's going to say the barrack, isn't he? That's what he wants to say, doesn't he?
Just
say it, Hughes. Put it out there, mate. Put it out there, mate. It's all good.
Should have saved the goal, mate. Can't vote for that, mate. Do you know what, lads? I can't disagree with you. I was really critical of Neves for the first 20 minutes. Not at half time, but in my living room. I was getting frustrated with him because he wasn't.
You've done that with the rest of them. 20 minutes though, couldn't you?
Yeah, with the rest of them. But I hold him in such high regard, and his passing in such high regard. He was just off the ball a little bit for the first 20 minutes. But do you know what? He deserves it. Just watching the goal back, he's broke his neck to get into the Newcastle's penalty area, and for that goal, he definitely deserved man of the match. And I think he was instrumental in the second half by sort of trying to help Wolves take the game by the scruff of the neck.
Because there was one situation as well in that second half where he's basically sprinted from the halfway line to try and close the goalkeeper down.
Yes,
and that's the difference of what he's doing at the minute. He's being positive. He's trying to push up. He's trying to push the team up, but he is trying to get into that top third and put pressure on the team. And you're seeing it time and time again at the moment. And that's the Neves that we want to see.
It's a busy week. Manchester City away on Tuesday, and then the derby game at Villa on Saturday. What would you be tempted to do very quickly, boys, for Man City? I mean, they're absolutely flying at the minute. I guess Wolves can go their Keams without any pressure to perform, and will that suit them?
Yeah, I think the pressure certainly is off in a sense where you're not expected to get a result, but they're not going to want to go there and lose. They'll definitely play a defensive game and try and sit back and hit them on the counter. But you know, we're in a run of form as well. Thinking of any changes, I think Fabio maybe deserves his chance to start up top. I think he's done well when he's come on the last few games. So I think maybe just to mix it up, because 3 games in the week is difficult. And that's the only change I'd possibly make, and then make a decision on Saturday for who plays at top again. But there's nothing to fear for this Wolves side at the minute. I feel like they're in high confidence and in a good vein of form.
Looms?
Yeah, I can't really disagree with that. You know, I think
even though you want to,
because he's as a player, you know, when Fabio's been coming off the bench, he's been doing well. He's been looking sharp. So again, you've got to have your chances. If you're not scoring, and as much as William Josie's holding the ball up and linking, we still need to have that threat. We still need that goal to come. So Fabio Silva deserves his chance on Tuesday, and it's one of them. Nuno knows his players. You know, he'll see exactly what we're seeing. He knows that he's coming on. He's getting himself, his movement, his awareness gets him into those positions. We just need him to be clinical when the chances come. So that'd probably be my only kind of chance, but very much a defensive game. And it's always, you know, these records are there to be kind of stopped, haven't they? Man City, they're on fire, but we've done it before. So it's just about being solid, making sure that we don't give too much away. But when we do get that chance, we've got, and like you say, we've got players that can get on the ball and drive and make things, creative players. The likes of Traore, Neto, you know, they're going to be vital players, I think, in Tuesday's game.
Thank you very much to Chris Iwelumo, Carl Ikeme and Andy Thompson for this evening. If you missed our pre-match build-up, it is worth going and checking it out. Again, Shaka Hislop, who correctly predicted 1-1, I think, by the way, as well, which makes him even more of a hero to Carl Ikeme than he was in the past. And
as a pundit, that means we've clawed it back there, haven't we? We've clawed one back. And then,
that doesn't count.
What, he's an ex-pro. He's ex-footballer, mate. What are you talking about?
Again, I'm just going to fade Chris Iwelumo down. And also our thanks to John Richards, who came on and helped us pay tribute to Graham Hughes, Hughesy, Fizzer, Muffer, whatever he was called. He was an absolute legend, and he will be missed by so many around this football club. We didn't quite get the win for him tonight, but I just want to sign off with the words that Fizzer would always say whenever I would walk out the main reception at Molineux: up the Wolves. Look after yourselves.